with that. Hopefully we are live. There was a small delay in getting the stream started this evening because when I was going through the preliminaries, as I always do, there was a very, very bizarre lag. Even without the network, it was like the camera itself was lagging, and I was talking 3 seconds afterwards, so I had to uninstall and reinstall the camera, all of this without benefit of any Asian assistance, but I somehow managed to do it myself. So, welcome to this installment of Uncle Kage's Winestream. If you're here, you probably already know what this is about, or if you just kind of stumbled here without realizing what you're getting into, I am Uncle Kage, nobody knows why. And essentially what's going to happen for the next several hours probably, I'm going to be drinking an alcoholic beverage and just talking. Noise and drink, drink and noise and drink and noise. And this is going to continue over and over and over until the drink is gone or until I am gone. So we're going to see which is which. I get a terrible fingerprint on my glasses, pardon me. I don't even need these suckers. You can get rid of them anyway. Who needs fingerprints? Oh, that's on my eye. Oh. So anyway, I wanted to do something a little bit different this evening. I've gone through multiple wines in the past. I've gone through sake. I had briefly considered doing a redux of a stream I did a number of years ago, a bum wine stream. The problem is I was sick for days after that, drinking such amazing vintages as Thunderbird, Mad Dog 2020, Wild Irish Rose, Night Train Express. I decided I didn't want to have a repeat of that, shall we say. So I decided to be a little bit unique. I've gotten hooked on a little something. This is a dark and sinister-looking bottle, isn't it? Very close to my house, about 1.5 miles away, there is a lovely little kombucha joint, a little hipster joint called Ingenuity. Get it? Kombucha is a fermented tea, Ingenuity. Anyway. Ingenuity is a very, very delightful little place. It's within walking distance, gives me my exercise. And they're very, very friendly folks. But not only do they serve kombucha as well as tea and coffee, they also have wine and beer and also cider. Their wine selection is actually fairly decent, and I have no arguments with it. They do, however, have something I'd never seen before. It's a blackberry hard cider. Now, it's not, as you often find, apple cider, somebody threw some blackberry juice in. This does have apple in it, but it is primarily blackberry juice that has been fermented, a blackberry apple mix that has then been made into cider. And it's got a decent kick to it for a cider, about 6.5% alcohol. It's made by a company who they label it as Black Widow Blackberry Cider, and Ingenuity has it on tap. And they will happily sell you this 1 liter nearly container for a very, very nice price. So I actually have 4 of these, and that is the equivalent in alcohol content to roughly 2.5 bottles of regular wine. So we're going to see how long I last. So I'm not going to do the normal, uncorking and everything. You screw the cap off, and there's a little hiss because it is carbonated. Oh, and it smells very, very, very berry-y. And I'm going to use this amazing glass. I believe Elector Fencer gave this to me. It's got all of the major chemicals one finds in wine embossed on it here. So, nice and foamy. Oh boy. I have to be very, very careful because it is blackberry. If I spill any on the furniture or on my nice shirt here, it will stain. So hopefully this won't be one of those evenings. So, it is good. It's like, it kind of tastes like Kool-Aid. Not quite as syrupy sweet, but it's kind of Kool-Aid sweet. Imagine if the Kool-Aid man bursts through the door with his, oh yeah, and then came at you with a Louisville Slugger and slammed you across the forehead with it. That's pretty much this stuff. Talon Wolf says, I need to futz with his OBS sometime and get him to split screen with call-in recipients and green screen them on the couch. Yes, you do. Let's do it. I need you here, though. You got to do this for me. Alkali says, at least it will not leave a ring on your coffee table. Yes, Alkali has left his mark here in my house. I still have the Alkali ring on my coffee table. No other beverages leave a ring on my coffee table, but his tequila did. It ate through the finish. Vobaka announces he has lost 17 kilograms. Congratulations, Vobaka. That is quite a feat. I've been losing weight myself. I'm down to my target weight, which is under 70 kilos turtle, and we're going to try to keep it there. Alley Cat Cool is saying, do you ever drink mead? I do occasionally drink mead. Mead is a little too far on the sweet side of the spectrum for me. This is about as sweet as I'm willing to go. Mead is nice, but it's just a little too much. It's great for dessert. You don't want to spend an evening drinking it. Unless you have nothing else, in which case, bottoms up. The Amateur Furry. So there's a little carbonation in it, just a little, and the Amateur Furry has discovered Miller Lite is their favorite beer. Well, you and Silver the Viking would get along quite famously because he absolutely adored the Miller Lite he had when he was here. And Furry Trainer says, comparable to Mad Dog 2020? No, nothing is comparable to Mad Dog 2020. Let's see. Haiku Art is asking how I'm doing. I'm doing quite well. I've got alcohol in my hand. My place is just exactly the right temperature, and I don't have the roar of the HVAC system messing up with my microphone here. By the way, I did buy one of those lavalier mics for on-stream appearances at events and things. It works rather well, but I don't think it would last the length of time that this thing goes. So I opted to go with the old Yeti mic that Alkali gave me as a present over here, by the way. Oh, Barracuda is there under the name Crystal Moon. Now, I hope Barracuda was not trying to hide. You just outed him. Oh, but there we are. Good to see you. Let's see. Amateur Furry. I'm a he, by the way. One cannot make assumptions these days, but thank you for clarification. Name I mentioned was Silver the Viking. I don't know if Silver's going to join us this evening because, well, it's late over there, and he's all old and stuff, and that I think he's past 30. Oh, dear me. So I don't know if he can sleep as late as or stay up as late as he used to. The Military Nun is asking if I can recommend an artist. I know hundreds of artists. I could recommend them all. I don't know if I could just rattle off names. If I miss somebody, I'd feel dreadful. Look around on the various art sites, find somebody whose work you like, and find out if they're willing to draw your character. Damien Boy, since Halloween, I have a little Labrador Retriever puppy. Whoa. I only got Candy. Dude, you must go to some really cool houses. Onyx Flame says, would you ever wear the clip mic under your wine face mask? Possibly. It does take a bit of room, though, and if it rubs, I don't know if I would have quite enough room for it there. The Amateur Furry would like to know, has anyone mispronounced my name as Uncle Kage? Only every day. It's become so commonplace, I don't even correct people anymore. Why bother? I know who they're talking about. Oh, Layla Cookie's back. Hello, Layla. Any special guests tonight? Only the Blackberry Cider, I'm afraid. We are still in the grips of this dreadful pandemic. I had considered inviting a guest, but right now things are not good for travel right now. So we are keeping ourselves socially distant. I do have the stand-in Ronnie, who's kind of hiding behind my tiger pillow here. And Pickles the Dragon, and this guy, who is just totally cute. That is from Corgi Beans. So they're going to be my stand-in guests. Let's see. Colorful Cute says, you're like the only uncle in this fandom. I don't know. Okay, I'm the only one who uses the title. Boozy Badger, he's kind of like the drunken uncle that everybody is like, we got to invite him for Thanksgiving. Don't let him near the kids. So he's kind of uncle guy too. Alkali is sort of approaching uncle territory too. He's getting that kind of old look to him there. Incidentally, I found out only a very short time before this stream that at the same time, there are a bunch of fursuiters who are doing an online charity drive to help support the Children's Miracle Network. And I felt absolutely terrible because my stream is at the same time and they're trying to raise money, and here I am stuffing, alcohol in my face. So you will note at the top of the chat there is a pinned link. If you would like to help support the Children's Miracle Network, a couple of dollars, doesn't matter. You don't have to. It's totally voluntary. But if you could, you would help assuage my guilt at sitting here selfishly streaming while other furries are working very, very hard to raise money for a good cause. So we can at least help out and do our part. The Amateur Furry. Oh, I give off the vibe of the uncle who hosts fireside chats every holiday. Well, thank you very much. Always considered myself the Count Drosselmeyer of the family. And I do have a fireplace over here. It's a gas fireplace, but I could light it up. Let's see. Crystal Moon never did catch up on how the Doug story ended. You must mean the Doug O story. Maybe a little bit later I'll get into Doug O. Let's see. Gummibjorn apparently screenshotted my living room. Did you now? Okay, so the next time we're calling, I shall find out if you're here or not. One Yin Gang says Wikipedia is on the verge of shutting down. Okay, One Yin, thank you for mentioning that. Wikipedia has been on the verge of shutting down for the past 5 years, though, much like the furniture store at the corner here, which has been having a going out of business sale since I moved to North Carolina in 2013. So if you want to make donation, that's great. I'm asking to donate to the Children's Miracle Network, which you will see at the top of the chat here. Kaiwan is asking, did that place have any other interesting ciders? Maybe they did, but I fell in love with this one, so I haven't really tried any of the others. Sagery Bloodfang, would you ever consider going to Anthro, New England? Okay, everybody, I'm going to get a Build-A-Bear and put a voice chip in it, so I just pick it up and squeeze it, and it says, I would go if they were to invite me. That's the answer. Anytime somebody says, would you go to X convention? I need to be invited to conventions because they certainly do not pay scientists like they used to. I did a calculation, mostly for my edification, but it turned out to be a little more depressing than I thought. The salary that I am making today is exactly the same salary adjusted for inflation that I was making with the very first job when I walked out of graduate school. So, yeah, scientists are not as highly paid as you think. Oh, Zilver's here. Zilver, we were using your name in vain a moment ago. There's a gentleman here who apparently is very, very fond of Miller Lite, and I thought you and he could have a chat. Oh, Amateur Furry is a little hyper right now thanks to 4 cups of Maxwell House. Well, Amateur Furry, have 4 cups of this. It will fix the hyper. Furry Trainer says, your mom can't have candles, but you have a fireplace you're willing to light? She has a fireplace too, and I'll let her light it because the fire stays in the fireplace. You may not have candles out. I won't let her have candles. I don't allow candles in my place. Why? The 2 decades I spent in emergency services, the number of house fires I saw that were started by candles, I lost count. There are dozens, maybe even hundreds. And every single story was the same. I just looked away for a second, or I stepped out of the room for 10 seconds, and the entire place went up. Now, no candles. Dareka says, we need scientists, but the people with the money don't appreciate them. Well, that's how modern capitalism is, Dareka. We need everybody, but the only people who are making the money are the people who are telling these other people to work. You know, it's our system. It's the best system money can buy. Ha, 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 ha. So, yeah, you need the janitor to take out the trash. You need the electrician to make sure that the lights stay on and that the instruments work right. You need the administrative assistant to make sure all the paperwork is done. But none of us are paid very well. Of course, the person who is giving all the orders, that person's paid $8 million a year. Let's not get into that. It's depressing, too. Alkali says, this is why romances are dead. That's not true, Alkali. You can get those little artificial candles that have like a little wavy piece of plastic that goes back and forth and has a little light shining off it. It's almost as romantic. Mullen, opinions on Napa Valley and its wine. I'm not fond of California wines, the whites especially. I do enjoy the red Zinfandel that is produced in the Napa Valley. That is the only red wine that I will drink on a regular basis. Oh, let's see. And Hawkstar Dragon says, should I enjoy my beverages? Well, Hawkstar, that's a silly question. Why would you drink them if you were not enjoying them? But yes, you must. Otherwise, just pour them down the drain if they're not being enjoyable. And Wolfcat Wildcat, have you tried Ontario wines? Well, I was going to try some of those, buddy, but this hoser came up to me and said that they were made out of beaver, so I really didn't want to try it. Hey, T'Chall is here. Hi, T'Chall. T'Chall and I have known each other probably close to 25 years. Don't we both feel old now? Goddamn. Ushi is here. Hello, Ushi. Good to see you. Ushi, of course, is Ursula Opitz. She is a friend of my family, and she lives in Berlin, in Germany. She is the mother of the famous Andre Opitz, the greatest barman in all of Germany. Let's see. And since people are just arriving, this is not wine. It is not red wine. This is cider. This is Blackberry Cider. It is made from blackberries. This is not just some flavored beer crap that you get in the supermarket. And it is sold on tap in a local hipster kombucha joint down the road. I have gotten hooked on it, so I have 4-liter bottles of it, and we'll see how much of that I can get through. It's about 6.5% alcohol. Honest Flame is asking, what UK conventions have I been to? Let's see. Well, there's Confuzzled, of course. Confuzzled is extremely expensive. That's another one I kind of need to be invited to. I tried to go on my own, and I practically lost my shirt. There was an older furry convention called RBW years ago that I went to. And I went to a London Furs meet when I was in England for a business trip. And pretty much it was just a bunch of furries taking over a pub and trying not to wreck the place. It was an incredible night. Russell Dixon, how long will it take before Kage can't see the chat? Russell. I have my glasses here if I can't see the chat. And you can't see it, but over here there is a mouse. It's actually over here. Now it's over here. That I can roll the scroll wheel and the chat will get bigger. So, hey, on you. One Yin Gang is asking about wine from the Finger Lakes region. They make a very, very good Riesling. The white wines from the Finger Lakes region of New York, I do favor them. They are quite agreeable. Let's see. David Hunter says, greetings from what we call the Gwynedd Valley in Pennsylvania. There's a bunch of Welsh people here. You better say it right. And Haiku Art is responding to... He's reminding people that I respond to the chats that I catch because while I'm talking, the chat's going over here, and I glance down at whatever I happen to see, that's what I respond to. Now, if you ask the same question 5 or 6 times and I haven't answered it, it's very likely that I did see it, and for one reason or another, I don't want to get into the answer, so give it some time and maybe try it a little bit later. Jeremy the Hayed Fox, are there any wine-producing regions you've wanted to visit but haven't been able to? I actually have visited pretty much all of the regions that make the wines I like best, so I guess the answer is no. Austin Schmuck. My opinion on non-alcoholic apple cider. What's the point? It's like dry humping. It doesn't mean anything. Onyx Flame, of course I remember seeing you at Eurofurence. How could I forget? Saf Sergal, my thoughts on VR chat and virtual cons? Too long an answer. Don't have time. I do have a VR chat avatar, though, so look around for Uncle Kage. If you see Uncle Kage and it looks like me, yes, that's me. Anytime I go onto VR chat, I have to spend 20 minutes convincing people it's actually me. I might as well just give up and say, no, I'm an impersonator. Yeah. Oh, Ace Maddox is here. Oh, with a dreadful case of food poisoning. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't get it from Fermanti Brothers. It's a Pittsburgher there. A Carrie Husky. Next time I'm at Eurofurence, you've got a Riesling for me. I look forward to accepting it. I hope I can get to Eurofurence sometime soon. Tokala Macrowolf. Why? Okay, asking why Tianlong hasn't been on the stream for so long. Yes, Tianlong lives in Canada. The border has been closed since March, and it's not clear when it's going to reopen. This stuff is good, and I have to be careful not to drink it too fast. I am forcing myself to drink it so, because I can chug this, but then the stream would last about an hour. Me 420. What do you think of Arbor Mist Moscato? That's a granny wine. My mom loves Arbor Mist Moscato. She can have it. Onyx Flame, you ask an interesting question. How is Grandma Kage doing? She's not in the chat. She was going to be in the chat, but her old friend Beta and her husband, Beta, had moved away. They have come back to visit. So Mom is like, hang out and get drunk with my old friend Beta, or watch my idiot son get drunk on camera. There's no choice there. So she and Beta are carousing right now. Let's see. Cowl and the Wolf would love to see me chug like 2 liters of cider. Yeah, a lot of people would, but it ain't going to happen. Because I got to pay for this stuff. And there's enough Scottish in me to say, let's make it last for a bit. Oh, what else? Fuzzy Tongue. Have you ever tried Butchcraft Kombucha? I don't know what I thought that said, but I was like, the hell? What? And so most kombucha has a very, very small alcohol content. It is fermented tea, and it's usually about 1/2, a maximum of 1%. But Fuzzy Tongue tells us that Butchcraft Kombucha has an alcohol content of 8.7%. I am intrigued, and I shall be speaking to my good friends at Ingenuity here in Cary to see if maybe they've got a recipe. Alkali says, are they visiting? Yes, they are visiting. If you'll be right here, you better hurry. I don't know how long they're staying. Okay, when my reaction to that whole antifreeze wine from Austria, it was sad on many, many levels. The fact that someone would willingly put ethylene glycol, which is a known poison, into wine simply to improve their profits, it's unthinkable. It's a terribly American thing. And why the Austrians would do it, especially when they take such pride in their wine, it's heartbreaking, really. Ethylene glycol, as a matter of fact, is the reason why the United States has a Food and Drug Administration. We can trace the creation of the US FDA directly to an incident that took place in the southern United States, I believe in the 1930s. In those days, we didn't have a lot of antiseptics. If you wanted an antibacterial drug, you either got a penicillin injection or you took sulfanilamide. You might have heard them talk about sulfa drugs. That's what it is. Sulfanilamide is a yellow powder, and it's not really soluble in anything. You would get it in a little paper packet, and you would have to pour it on your tongue like a flavorless pixie stick and then gush it down with water. it apparently tastes like shit, and it was very, very difficult. Some people thought the cure was worse than the disease. Well, some enterprising entrepreneur came along and realized that sulfanilamide is soluble in ethylene glycol, which is a sweet-tasting syrup. So he dissolved the sulfa drugs in ethylene glycol and served it up as an elixir that would cure anything. I think it killed, 110 or 115 children before the government caught on. And that's when they said, we probably really need some sort of agency to regulate these medicines that people keep coming up with. Oh, Lynx Wolf, you were the one with the RAR hat. I remember the RAR hat, yes. Justin Hunley, what makes you so funny, Uncle Kage? It's my looks. Looks aren't everything. And Kristen Morris, how is your day going? My day is going refillably. That's the nice thing about my day. I can always refill it. As a matter of fact, it's gotten down low. This will help to cool it off a little bit. This is Blackberry Cider for folks who got here late. I wanted to do something a little bit different this time around. Jeremy the Head Fox. Sulfa drugs are something that Jeremy is allergic to. I break out in body-covering spots. In other words, you turn into a cheetah. Undertaker would like to know, would I drink wine from a uranium glass? Yes, I would, and I would not lose a wink sleep over it. The dosage of radioactivity I'm going to get for that would be so vanishingly small that I'm not going to be bothered by it. Honestly, is asking, have I had dinner tonight? I have, as a matter of fact. I had 3 grains of rice and a piece of lettuce. No, I'm joking. I actually had a very, very hearty dinner of some Middle Eastern food from a nice place up the road here. Samson the Cat Fox says the hairline is looking healthy. Well, thank you very much for that. The thing is, people say Uncle Kage is losing his hair. Actually, I'm not. My head is fully covered with hair. The only problem is when it's short like this, those are the patches where the hair has gone gray. So where the hair has no color, the light shines through. So, I don't know. I was kind of half thinking maybe it's time to grow this out. And if I'm not going to have my hair like this, I would get like an Albert Einstein thing. The only thing is I hate dealing with hair. I hate brushing it. I hate having to worry about a bad hair day. With this, I use like 1/4 of a milliliter of shampoo every morning, and I take a towel and go, there, we're done. That's all I have to worry about. Wilvaka says, would you drink mead made by me? Mead made by me. Mead made by me. That's a tongue twister. But I trust Wilvaka. Yes, I would try. I would try some of your mead. Let's not say I would drink it. I would certainly try it. And for those of you who got here, you might have jumped in and completely missed the pinned thing wherever your chat is, probably over here. There is a pinned thing. When I was getting ready to stream, it was brought to my attention that there's a bunch of furries, including Zeke Hyena, who's been a guest here on this stream. They are doing an online charity event to try to raise money to support the Children's Miracle Network. And then I thought, well, shit, I'm streaming at the same time. And I was mortified. Am I, like, drawing away any audience members that might help out their efforts? So in order to assuage my guilt, if you would like to make a small donation, there is a link in the wherever the hell your chat is, I don't know. Click on it, throw them some money, and then I will feel better. It's wonderful how these things work. Amy S., one of the most unique items you had the pleasure of auctioning off for charity at any FurryCon. I don't know about pleasure. I have auctioned some very, very unique items. I auctioned off an empty sake bottle containing my original hair from the very first day I had it shorn off. I guess that's pretty unique. It got a huge amount of money. It got a stupid amount of money. Sky the Gun Fox, do you enjoy shooting at the range? I do. The only problem is the range I go to is very, very popular and thus very crowded. Especially with today's restrictions, if I want to go to the range, I have to stand outside in a very long queue in order to get in. And it's starting to get a little windy and chilly out there, so I'm going to have to find a time, when it's not so popular. Uncle, I would like to know my hierarchy of needs for a party. In other words, my perfect room party. Okay. A room that is large enough for people to move around. A room that has good ventilation. A room that has a good selection of alcoholic beverages. And a room that has a good selection of nibbles. You got to have some snacks to go along with the alcoholic beverages. I would prefer everyone in the room to be a furry because I like the company of furries. I've hung out with people who aren't furries. They just don't seem to be as fun. And no idiots. No idiots. We had on the door. No idiots need apply. Layla Cookie would like to know which of the tumor cats is my favorite bottle. I do like all the tumor cats. You can't quite see, but there's a purple tumor cat that's in the back behind the blue one. I'm kind of partial to that one just because it's the prettiest. The wine inside is fairly crappy, and half the time it's turned. I don't know why. You can get one that's 2 years old, and you uncork it, and there's mold all over the bottom of the cork. But I love the bottles. Amateur Furry. Oh, might pop in again. Till next time, well wishes from Alabama. You do know that my ancestry is in Alabama. My grandparents used to live in Butler County, but it's good to see you, Amateur Furry. I hope you can come back sometime soon. Paul DeWolf, I miss sitting with you at ACFI in the con suite. ACFI. Oh, ACFI. He was right. In the con suite, drinking wine and chatting. Thank you very much. You're very, very kind to say so. But this is practically the same thing. And this way you don't have to smell my breath, which probably smells like blackberries right now, as well as drunk. Blackberries and drunk. Oh, Benny, do you know any stories about Mick Collins? Benny, which Mick Collins are we talking about? Because I can't place the name right now. Onyx Flame says, how about a party in a gazebo? We should leave the gazebos to the clinical trials. They definitely need those. Kaiwin, do I still have the white Tumor Cat bottle? Yeah, the Tumor Cat white is in the back, right behind the green one, in fact. Gunsmith says, you don't like the clear Tumor Cat. No, the clear Tumor Cat was haunted. Amy asks, what sort of nibbles would you be drawn to? If there's booze, salty nibbles, pretzels, cheese crackers, Cheez-Its, things like that. And also some healthy things in there, some crudité, some vegetation, peanut butter. Giovanni says, I can see the flags of Britain and England. Oh, that's from the London Furs had me on their thing lately, and that's why those flags are up. I've got about 30 flags in there, and if I'm doing something international, I fiddle through and pull that flag out. So that was the last international stream that I did there. Justin Hunley, if you had a fursona, what would you be and why? I do have a fursona, Justin. I thought everybody knew that. Yes, Mr. Morningstar, when Anthropocon is back, we can have some wine and talk. I very much hope so. When that will be, no one can say. There are just far, far, far too many unknowns at this time. I recently had a conference call with our partners in Pittsburgh, and pretty much that was the basis of it. We don't know. We are going to hold out as long as we can. We will delay as long as we feel comfortable doing so, but there will come a time when we have to make a decision. And that decision is going to be based primarily off of safety. And I'm going to underline primarily. If there is even a concern that we may place our attendees in jeopardy, we're not going to have the convention. It is not important for us to have a successful event if someone's going to get hurt. Bobaki, if and when you go to Japan again, you should try out aerial cheese crisps. Are those the cheese crisps that are lighter than air and you have to catch them in the butterfly net? I've heard about that. Oh, apparently Mum is here. If Beta and Murdot are there, tell them I say hi. Remind them that you have cider in your refrigerator too. I'll bet they'd love it. By the way, every time I go, it's because this stuff is carbonated, and I'm just trying to clear it out before I go like belch here. Russell Dixon, do you have a ghost story? I don't believe in such things. I do, however, have one incident that is difficult to explain. I think I have an explanation for it. Those of you who have been to my little house here know that there is a long hallway off to the right that leads to 2 bedrooms. The one on the left is my bedroom. The one on the right is Anthracon's storage room. It's filled with crap. The night that I first moved in here, surrounded by boxes and with the TV on the floor and this sofa here, an artist by the name of Gideon, you might have heard of him. He's an old friend of mine. He came down to kind of keep me company and to help me set things up. And we had the TV plugged in, and we were watching some old movie, or so. We both love old horror movies, sitting on the sofa. And again, nothing is here. Both the bedrooms were empty. And at some point, both Gideon and I very, very clearly heard the sound of a woman crying coming from there. It was not muffled as though it was in a place next door or outside. It was clear and audible, and it was right in that second bedroom. It was clear enough and loud enough and persistent enough that we hit the mute on the TV and we looked at each other like, are you hearing that too? And it was so clear that we stood up and we kind of crept down the hall. Gideon was behind me holding on to the back of my shirt, and I said, hello, is someone there? Is everything all right? And the sound stopped. And we opened the door and flicked on the light. The room was totally empty. The same with the other one. That was the only time I heard it, and we still cannot quite place it. I have a hypothesis, however. Of late, I was sitting in this exact same spot, and I heard what sounded like a bird singing, like a bird had gotten into my bedroom, coming from there. And I got up to investigate, but when I got halfway down the hall, the location of the sound changed. And I came back out, and I realized it was coming from outside my patio here. I suspect that there is some interesting auditory phenomenon here that maybe just because of physics, the way the place is set up, when you're here and there's a sound here, it gets channeled and sounds like it's coming from over there, like a ventriloquist throwing his voice. That's the only explanation I can come up with. I am not willing to jump to the conclusion that it was something paranormal. I am a firm disbeliever in the paranormal until such a time as somebody can give me concrete evidence that, and Benny says, Gideon is a big scaredy cat. Yes, he is. His persona is this big Clydesdale horse, but you can picture that big Clydesdale horse like up on the top of a door, perched there if like a little bug goes crawling across the floor. And Camaro Cougar, actually, we were not drunk. We did not have any alcohol that night because it was late when we got in. We didn't know where to get any. Oh, Mom says they are adhering to social distancing. Give them some cider. Oh, Benny says, what place in Ursinus or Ithaca should have been haunted? Ursinus College. There is a building at Ursinus College where I got my bachelor's degree in the town of Collegeville, Pennsylvania. It's called Thaler Hall of Science, named after the great Professor George Thaler. This building was not constructed. It was thrust up from the bedrock itself. It's this massive, monumental, solid, old stone 1930s era building. I know every inch of that building, the hidden places, the basement laboratories, which had been flooded for a long time, the mysterious laboratory upstairs that I found my way into. That place probably is haunted, and it's probably haunted by me, for all I know. Oh, Onyx Flame, asking about my door spider. I have not seen the door spider because the Condo Association has decreed that they've hired some jerk to come around once a week with a giant leaf blower and basically just hurricane blow all of the breezeways here, and they blow away any of my spiders. I've tried to ask them not to, but they don't pay attention. Mr. Morningstar, it's not a personal question, it's a very good question. If the supernatural was real, how would you react? You are asking a scientist, if I was given proof of the supernatural, how would I react? I would be ecstatic, because this would be an entire field of study that was completely new. And those are very few and far between right now. It would be a new frontier. The possibilities of exploration would be an incredible thrill. If you could give me concrete proof of the supernatural, as we call it, for one thing, if it is supernatural and you give me concrete proof, it's not supernatural anymore. Now it's natural. But I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime. Oh, Crazy Crux, still waiting on a chance to stream with me. Let's get past COVID, I'm afraid. Am I excited for the possible AC 2021? I'm not allowing myself to get excited because we don't know. We haven't the faintest idea what the future holds in store. So I'm being, shall we say, cautiously optimistic. Crystal Moon remembers when Talon and I we thought it was a great idea to do a stream outside on my patio, which overlooks that beautiful lake. And it was a great idea. We thought, oh, this is wonderful. But you see, there are two giant studio lights up here, which are illuminating me. We put those giant studio lights outside, and we were sitting on my patio, and we forgot that it was summertime, and this is North Carolina. When the sun went down, every single insect and arthropod in the Piedmont area flocked to my patio. We were buggy. And at one point, this gargantuan black beetle, which we dubbed Mrs. Tank, landed on my hand, and she became like a co-host. I was like, it was cute. Mrs. Tank was a personality. It was kind of funny because had I been sober, I would have been totally freaked out and run screaming, but she was just like adorable. Onyx Flame has an indoor door spider about the size of a 2-pound coin. That's a pretty good sized spider. Nurture that spider. You will not have creepy crawlies other than the spider. Russell Dixon says, every time a person says, not my lifetime. Okay, Russell, look at this face. I only got another 2 decades left or so, so I'm not gonna put any bets down. Okay. Kaiowin, do you think that telepathy and telekinesis could be real? No. If they were real, we would have found a way to measure the effect by now. it is wishful thinking. You cannot move things with the power of your mind. There have been far too many people who have made the claim, and every single one of them has been debunked. Oh, let's see. Okay, Benny, okay. Telekinesis and telepathy are not real. Teleportation is real, because we have seen that happen. At the old Adamsmark Hotel, the convention services manager was able to be in 2 different places of the hotel in the course of about 4 seconds. The man was astonishing. Okay. Okay, I misread what Honest Flame was saying. Honest Flame has a new cat named Diamond, and he likes hunting. She says, I hope he ignores the spider. She said, or the spider gets to a high enough point. I read that as, or the spider gets high enough. I was going to say, have him talk to Alkali. He'll set him up, really. Silence. If you could have a superpower, what would you... If I had a superpower, what would I want it to be? The power to make other people stop talking. Just going to leave it at that. Oh, Bert Cleverpars, good evening from Argentina. Buenos nachos. Ace Maddox, oh, you're talking about the Philadelphia experiment. It's bunk. It made for a great movie in the 1980s, but no, we did not teleport or shift in time a United States battleship. It didn't happen. Let's see. Oh, Games 4356 is loving the flags in the background. The flag of Wales is kind of hiding behind them there. Onyx Flame sent that to me. Now, Onyx Flame is talking about various coins. I was fascinated when I was in Australia. The lower the denomination, the larger the coin. The higher the denomination, the coin gets smaller. I had the 50-cent piece is this it's the size of a cookie. So the 50-cent Australian coin is this massive shuriken that weighs about 6 pounds. The $1 coin is a coin that is about the size of our $half. The $2 coin is about the size of our nickel. I had a $50 coin, but unfortunately I left the window open and it blew away. Oh, Dottie Cindergraph, what do you dislike the most about being a scientist working in the scientific field? They don't pay scientists what they're worth. There, I said it, and that's my belief. Fuzzy Tongue, my thoughts on the Titanic Olympic conspiracy? Bullshit. We have the hull number of the wreck that is on the ground, on the bottom of the ocean. It is stamped on the propeller, and it is Titanic. It's not Olympic. And they're asking about the Russian sleep experiment. That's a creepypasta. It's a story somebody made up. Christopher Lyon says, how big is a penny? Actually, about this big. I happen to have one here. It's about the size of your fingernail, roughly there. That's how big a U.S. penny that is. Yeah. And I was remarking to somebody, American coins, I think, are the only ones in the world that do not have numerals on them. This says 1 cent. The next one says 5 cents, written out in Arabic letters. The number 5 is not on it. The other one is the cruelest. 1 dime, it says. Doesn't say 10 anywhere. Then we have 1 quarter, and finally the dollar. So, yay, American exceptionalism. You know, if you want to understand American money, you have to be able to read the Arabic. The Arabic's the numeral. Whatever, you got to read shit. There, that's what I'm saying. Fire for Lion, do you have some furry con stories? Everybody, do I have some furry con stories? The answer to your question is yes, Fire for Lion. If you have another 85 hours, I'll tell you some of them. Kyoin, my favorite conspiracy theory to make fun of or not. The problem is, conspiracy theories are harmful because there's always some yin-yang out there willing to believe them. I don't want to say favorite. I have some that irk me more than others. The 9/11 conspiracy theories. I just want to take that Louisville slugger that comes along with this stuff here and start beating people with it. I watched shit happen that day. No. Please don't come at me with conspiracy theories. I will hit you and walk away. It's a reminder again. When I was getting ready to stream, it was pointed out to me that a group of furries are at this exact same time doing a charity fundraiser to support the Children's Miracle Network, and I felt absolutely dreadful that I was infringing on that time. So in your chat, wherever the hell you have your chat, there is a pinned message at the front with a link. If you would like to donate, you don't have to. This is if you'd like to, or if you're able to. If you would like to make a small donation to Children's Miracle Network, it would help assuage my guilt at streaming. At the same time, some other people are working very hard to raise money for a good cause. Quack Quack Honk. It's been a while since I told the lost and found story. Do you mean the Ghibli Jobbly story? In my mind, that just happened yesterday. Jeremy the Hate Fox. Watch that live on TV, the 9/11 stuff. You know, I still can't watch the footage. I watched it that day, and I can't watch it now because I find it too upsetting. It comes on, I actually just leave the room. Jeremy the Hate Fox. The 9/11 Memorial Museum is the only museum I've been to that made me cry. Well, Jeremy, may I invite you to visit the Holocaust Museum? That'll get you. Yes, Benny is asking about... Benny, the hole in front of the Westin in Pittsburgh is filled in, but the escalators that they were promising me that went from the Sky Bridge to the 4th floor have not yet been started. When I was on the last conference call with them, I asked about this, and things got very quiet. And I said, never mind, I withdraw the question. By the way, we have in the, I keep it, Big Benny. Benny is an old friend of mine. I've been to the Holocaust Museum. Benny's been to the Holocaust Museum. Benny has the distinction of having a feather in his cap. He got an entire grade school class thrown out of the Holocaust Museum. Benny, I hope you'll forgive me for telling your story. Benny was visiting the Holocaust Museum, which is an indescribably emotional place. I'm not even going to begin to attempt to convey what it does to you. But only to certain people, apparently, because while Benny was there, he saw there was a school group that, school group, all the kids there and the teachers trying to, keep the... And he saw some kids kind of clustered around one of the displays, looking around like this. And then they all broke and ran away. And Benny went and looked at the plaque, and somebody had carved graffiti that appeared to be very fresh in that display. And he immediately went to a museum docent and said, come here, pointed to it and pointed to the kids. Well, as he told me, the docent went to the teacher and said, could you please line the children up and come with me, please? And went straight to the stairwell, led them all downstairs to the exit, and had them leave and close the door and wouldn't let them back in. So he basically got the entire damn class thrown out. And I very much hope the teacher used that as a lesson for some of these children. Oh, changing the... Since we're on the topic of horrible catastrophes, the Military Nut has seen the Fire Festival documentary. Good God in heaven. Alkali and I watched the documentary. There are 2 documentaries for the Fire Festival. I can't remember which one we saw, but Alkali and I were sitting on this exact sofa in this exact spot, and we fired up Netflix, and we watched the Fire Festival shit show documentary. Here you had 2 convention organizers holding on to each other like we were watching the scariest movie, saying, no, oh God, no, don't do that, no. It was precious. Camaro Cougar says, I need a bowler hat like the one from James Bond to deal with conspiracy theorists like those that break the rules at Antigon. Give me a second here. Okay, Camaro, your wish is my command. Let's see. As Benny says, Fire Festival mean Conference East. Let's not go there. Rip Cackle. Gritty is a national treasure, yes or no? No. He's a Philadelphia treasure, not a national treasure. Oh, Big Benny. Oh, now people are asking about Conference East. I'm going to let Benny talk about it because it gets politically touchy for me to discuss it. Then again, I still have another 3 liters of this stuff left. We'll see how the God, I'm getting old and feeble. Layla Cookie. Yes, I heard about the death of Sir Sean Connery, and it was very, very sad. The man, he did have a good run of it. He was in his 90s. And Big Benny, yes, I do know City Tavern closed. The last meal I had there was probably 15 years ago, so I don't remember what it was I had. Russell Dixon says, odd job I am not. Well, if I had an extra 200 pounds and was Asian, would that make you feel better? Radio Flower, what am I drinking? A lot of people must have got here late. This is, it's not kombucha. This is Blackberry hard cider, which comes on tap at my favorite little kombucha place here in Cary, North Carolina. It is a Blackberry hard cider, which I think they put crack in it because I can't get enough of this stuff. Ooh. Now here's a blast from the past. Dirtwater Fox, did I ever visit Brigantine Castle? Brigantine Castle was a haunted attraction in New Jersey. When I was a boy, it was like the big place to go, but I never got a chance to go before they closed down as well. I can't remember if they just went out of business or if they had a catastrophe like a fire or something. Somebody look it up for me. Remind me. Okay. Oh, Alkali is saying those same guys are making another documentary on Vince McMahon. I do like documentaries, especially when they're about other people. Benny is saying both Anthracon and Eurofurence are on navigable waterways. The Spree River in Berlin and the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh. And the time is enough for a motored vessel. Do you want to go from one and attend the other? Okay, Benny, if I was to take a motored vessel to either convention, it would be one of the motorized tiki bars that I saw on the Allegheny. That is the only way I would attend either convention by water. Oh, the Mythical Warriors in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Good to see you. Sanson the Cat Fox, what would the title of your autobiography be? You know, that's an interesting question. I've often thought about that. Were I to write my autobiography, which, don't get your hopes up, that sounds too much like work. If I were to write my autobiography, I always figured I like the title Summers of Love and War. Why? Because my youth was shaped by a particular summer. When you turned on the news, there was Harry Reasoner, there was Walter Cronkite, those old guys. You turn on the news, and they would show you all these hippies. This is the summer of love. The summer of love, the age of Aquarius, and the hippies, they're talking about the summer of love. Remember, you're talking to a kindergarten kid here. The summer of love, and then they would switch immediately to footage from Vietnam. That will fuck a kid up. This is the result. So that is what I would name my autobiography. Layla Cookie is asking, do you have a favorite rock band or rock song? Layla Cookie, reach back into ancient history and look up the name Steel Eye Span. Not Steel Ice Band, but Steel Eye Span. Django Dosh, hi, good to see you. Kaiwin says, Kage needs some shelter. I got plenty of shelter. Crazy Crux Productions. Oh, now, that's very, very rude. You know, this person is that. Did you know he's also that? That may not be general knowledge, so I'm not going to repeat it. But yes, I do know. Because all three of those have been here on my stream. In fact, when Zeke Hyena was here, this has got to be one of my favorite streams. The last time Zeke Hyena was here, that poor Yeen got so absolutely shit-faced. You would think that hyenas could hold their booze, right? I was sitting here, Zeke was sitting here, and he's being, I'm Zeke Hyena, and at some point we're doing our patter back and forth, and I looked over. Now, he's a fursuit. Zeke is sitting there like this. And he wasn't moving. I'm like, so, Zeke, what do you think? He didn't answer. Zeke? Zeke? Son of a bitch passed out. So I called an end to the stream. I said, okay, I think we're done. But it was a short stream, so the next morning we actually fired the cameras back up and had a hangover stream. You can look back in my YouTube channel, you'll see the two, the Yeen stream and then the morning after stream. So Pinkity, is there anybody in the furry fandom you'd love to meet but not yet met? That's a tough one. I have met so many thousands of people, wonderful people all. I can't bring to mind anybody that the answer is probably yes. There's probably a lot of people I've spoken to here that I would like to meet someday, but I don't have the list in front of me. Kamara Cougar says, I thought you would call your biography Kagamushi. Yeah, that wouldn't sell. Or maybe The Art of Drinking Sake. I already have a YouTube video with that title, so I don't want to do it again. Mucha Wolf Guru. Hey, Alkali, pay attention to this. You want a critter can hold their booze? Hamsters. In the wild, the food stores ferment, and they prefer alcohol given a choice. So once per ounce, hamsters will put anyone under the table. We have to find a hamster furry. Undertaker would like to know, have you ever met Duke Doberman? Yes, I've met Duke. And Sky the Gunfox says, how do you feel about White Claw, the drink that is? Not White Claw the Furry. I know White Claw the Furry. I don't think I know the drink. And Crazy Crux says, would you want any crux with you in the stream? Not just any crux. Yeah, for co-hosts, it's a little awkward. I don't know how to say this without sounding awful and conceited. I can't have just anybody as a co-host. It's got to be somebody that I have performed with, that I know that I have a history with. If somebody shows up and we don't have that chemistry, it's not going to be very good for the audience. I've seen other streamers do that. Oh, here's a person, and they get that person on there, and they just don't click. So I kind of had to be judicious who winds up on the stream. Kylewin says, do you still have the wind-up cockroach? Do you mean the music box? That's a little dark, but it's right there. Yes, I have it on the wall. The Military Nut. Book name idea. Behind the Lab Coat. Okay, that would be my After Dark account right there. And Marauder says, we're seeing some interesting stuff over in Telegram right now. Telegram is for kids. I don't use that shit. But somebody tell me what's going on. I'm curious. Yes. Beneath the lab coat. Under the lab coat. Aha. Kage's OnlyFans behind the lab coat. Now I'm thinking behind the green door. Oh, this is good shit. The only problem is I probably should have had a cooler here because it's starting to come to room temperature. It's much better when it's ice cold. It's not bad. It's like drinking room temperature soda. Let's see. And Haiku Art says, a fursona called Chester Ringtail. It really wasn't my fursona. It was a fursuit that I wore. Yes, the Chester Ringtail suit from, I think, 2004 to 2009. Yeah, that was me. Layla says, how is Boozy doing? I don't know. He's not here. Last I heard, he was doing pretty good, except the poor slob made a brash boast. He wound up having to shave off his goatee for charity. By the way, speaking of charity, yeah, there's a link in the chat at the very beginning. Throw some money toward the Children's Miracle Network. There are some furries who are trying to raise money for it, and I plopped my stream down right on top of them, and I feel bad, so let's try to assuage my guilt by doing some donation there, if you would. Thank you very much. Munchawolf Guru, that's a very unfair question. Who from the fandom that have passed do you miss the most? They recently had a memorial for Day of the Dead on VR Chat where they basically tried to get as many furries who have passed. And I hadn't really realized how many scores of people that I have known in the fandom who have left us. It's a little unfair to ask me who I miss the most. That's sort of like saying, who's your favorite parent? Yeah. Let's just say I miss them all equally. Wolfcat Wildcat, the business in which I purchased tonight's drink. That is a little establishment called Ingenuity. I didn't come up with the name, they did. It's a kombucha store here in Cary, North Carolina, where I'm currently living. Kaiwin says, how come you've never got a fursuit of your roach self? Because nobody would want to hug it. Yeah, that's true. Okay. And yes, Alex Trebek died. He wasn't a furry, but hats off to Alex. And Alkali says, go get one set up, man. We can wait a few minutes while you make sure you have a good drink for the rest of the night. What are you talking about? What did I forget? Did I miss something? What are we talking about? And Fuzzy Tongue says, have you watched Beastars? Yes. Oh my God, I loved Beastars. And Vobaka has gotten a new wine called Cork Puller. Cork Puller. I don't want to ask what the label looks like. Unexplained is asking, any wine for somebody just starting to drink it? California White Zinfandel is a good starter wine. Justin Hunley, why is your persona a cockroach, and have you watched BNA? The second question, yes, I have watched BNA. Why is my persona a cockroach? Okay. Oh, Layla Cookie, what happened with the cockroach head from Eurofurence last year? It got horribly destroyed by the airline baggage handlers. The pieces are in the back room. One day I'll try to put them together, but I just don't have time. Now, Justin Hunley has asked an honest question. Why is your persona a cockroach? I'm going to tell you, Justin, but this is going to take a couple of minutes, so please stop firing questions because I'm going to be talking to Justin and I'm not going to be saying what people are saying. When I was much younger than this, I did my graduate work in the wilderness of New Hampshire, having grown up in the farmlands of Pennsylvania. And from that very, very rusticated background, my first postdoctoral assignment was in the city of Chicago on the south side, Hyde Park. I'd never lived in a city before. The closest I'd even come to seeing a city was Sesame Street. Now I found myself living in it, and I'm not an urban person. It did not agree with me at all. I was very unhappy, very lonely. And it was about that time that I discovered this thing that they called furry fandom, and there was an online presence. And I investigated it, and I was introduced to this thing called Furry Muck. And Furry Muck was where all these so-called furries would gather online from all over the country, all over the world, in fact. And it was a very, very novel thing in those days. We didn't have the internet like you have now. It was just coming into being. And I saw this text-based virtual world, which appealed to me greatly. All these animals running around, tigers and otters and wolves. So I said, okay, I'm going to join into this, but all these people have animals. I should get one of my own. So for inspiration, I went to the campus bookstore and I purchased Peterson's Field Guide to North American Wildlife. And I was sitting in front of we didn't call them computers then, we called them terminals, because it had nothing of its own. You had to dial in to a mainframe. I was sitting in front of my terminal, and I'm going through this book. Okay, it's a bear. I'm not really a bear kind of person. It's cougar. There's already one of those. See, I wanted something unique. I wanted something not everybody else had. Eagle. I'd worked with birds of prey. Birds of prey are assholes. I'm not going to be a bird of prey now. Fox. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. No. Goat. What's that doing in it? And I'm just flipping through. And somewhere around J or K, I saw a movement. And I looked up, and crawling across the top of my terminal was the biggest, blackest, greasiest Asian cockroach you have ever seen in all your days. This thing was 60 feet long and had teeth the size of your hand. And it was just there. And I was totally weirded out. I took the book and I said, go away. And I'd never seen one of these things before. Somehow I knew what it was. On television, when you turn on a light, they scatter and hide. But when I'm waving this huge book at it, this thing just turned my way and reared up. And I said, that is a ballsy little roach. And my disgust gave way to this reluctant admiration. And my mind started to turn. And I envisioned this little cockroach as a fearless samurai warrior. And one of my favorite movies from Japan, Akira Kurosawa's Kagamushi. The name means the shadow warrior. It so happens that mushi means bug in Japan. So Kagamushi the Shadowbug, that became the name of this character that I envisioned. This little jet black cockroach in red lacquered armor with 4 arms and like 2 katanas and 2 wakizashi. So I created this character and I introduced him on Furry, and he was a hit. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's great. So that became my fursona and has been my fursona ever since. Oh, and apparently Dave Nevius is having water sheeting off the roofs here in Oregon High Desert. I guess it's raining. I guess that's what that means. Yes, Kamakage, that is the story of Kagamushi. Crazy Crux says, I'm sure more fur less can make Kage very cute. Okay, probably could. I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. They don't pay scientists like they used to. If I made a lot of money, I wouldn't be living in a little condo like this. I wouldn't be driving a 2006 Toyota Corolla. And I'd be drinking much more expensive booze. And Marauder says, a black lab became my fursona thanks to a short-lived series called Road Rovers. I have the Road Rovers series on DVD. I loved Road Rovers. It was one of the 1990s were really great for producing cartoons that lasted about 1 or 2 seasons and then got pulled because they were too intelligent. They appealed too much to adults and weren't selling enough toys. So the people making the cartoons were trying to make them for themselves, for their friends. But they didn't sell toys, and that's what keeps a cartoon on the air. So they got pulled. And Camara Cougar, what about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Cockroach? Well, that kind of almost is what I am. It's one day in Scotland, the bins are flying around like a scene from a Disney movie. I have many good memories of Scotland. I had the pleasure of visiting Scotland in 2004, I believe. And I was only there for 2 days, but I was in Edinburgh. And I saw many, many fine things. And some things that stick out of my mind were Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle is an incredible experience. I joined a tour group and was desperately trying to hang on to the words of the tour guide, but he was speaking in the local tongue, which to the American ear is very, very difficult sometimes to grok. So I was trying really, really hard, but it was still interesting. They have something at Edinburgh Castle they call the 1 o'clock gun. This is a tradition that goes back a hell of a long time. There's some place in the United States where to mark the hour of 12 noon, they'll sound a fire siren or something like that. In Scotland, because it's Scotland, at 1 o'clock to mark the hour, they fire off a frickin' cannon. So on the top battlement of Edinburgh Castle, there is a very, very lovely, shiny piece of British field artillery. And at a few minutes before 1, a smartly dressed sergeant, Thomas Mackey, the time I was there, it was Thomas Mackey, came marching out, doing that very, very wonderful British, absolutely, rigid, precise march. Came out and took his position beside this piece of artillery. And as the seconds approached 1 o'clock, he raised the barrel, had a little stopwatch here. And at 1 o'clock, okay, I thought it had blown my eardrums out. This thing let out a blast and a huge gout of flame and smoke like a dragon with emphysema. And it echoed for a good number of seconds. And that marked the hour of 1 o'clock. Well, when my ears stopped ringing, I asked the tour guide the question that I'm sure every idiot tourist has asked, and thus he was ready with an answer. I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Tour Guide, sir, why 1 o'clock? Where I come from, we always mark the hour of 12 noon. That seems to be the time everybody uses. Why do you mark 1? And he didn't miss a beat. He said, "We're Scottish, laddie. If we did it at 12, we'd have to waste 12 shells." All right, that made sense. Another thing that I saw in Edinburgh was what the Scots call, and forgive me, Scots, for mangling your pronunciation, the har. The har is the fog. And, okay, you might think you've seen fog. You have not seen fog. This was like a steam room. When that fog rolled in, it wasn't like American fog. In American fog, it always is like there's a clear area 20 feet around you, because it's only when the fog is a few feet away that it starts to get visible and you don't see the fog up close. The har, you could see it literally 3 inches, like steam blowing in front of your face. It's a trite old saying, but I couldn't see my hand. At arm's length, I could not see my hand through that fog. And I was excited. I went out and I'm going, "Oh boy, this is great. This is all foggy. I've never seen anything like this." And after I was out there enjoying my tourist moment, it suddenly occurred to me that I was not 100% sure how to get back to my hotel. In fact, I didn't have the faintest idea where I was. I didn't know. I knew I was on pavement, but am I on the sidewalk? Am I in the middle of the street? Am I at the end of a blind alley? I didn't know. So I just kind of started wandering, feeling my way through this oppressive fog. And I saw a faint, feeble glow of light, and I made my way for it. It was a phone booth. We still had those back then. And I went into the phone booth, and I thought, okay, it's a phone booth, so it probably is on the sidewalk. So I tried to get my bearings, but I couldn't. So I screwed up my courage, and I left the phone booth, and I came to a curb. I said, that must be the street. So I turned and I went the other way, and I came to a fence. Now, they have all these little gardens in front of the houses, so, okay, this must be it. So I made my way along the fence until I came to a gate. And I opened the gate, and I fumbled my way up until I came to a door, and I got right up, and I could see the number. Oh, I can find my hotel this way. I wound up going from garden to garden, door to door, looking at the numbers until I found my way back to the hotel. The only way I knew it was my hotel was when I got this close to the street number and saw that's where I was. I would love to go back and experience that again. But I'll bring Fox and more with me because native Scots, they've got like a bat-like sonar. That's how they find their way through the fog. They use this echolocation. So since I'm not a Scot, I don't have that echolocation, but if I had a native there, the native would be able to guide me. So that's what I'll do next time. Okay. Oh, and Rocket T. Coyote says, greetings from just outside Bay City, Michigan. Well, hello, Rocket T. Coyote. Thank you for joining us. And Spool Pinky D, did you make the newspapers, Uncle Kage? Fumbling idiot loses way in the fog. Fortunately, not that time. I have made the newspapers quite a lot, not always for the best things, but that time was not one of them. Dave Nebius, how could you go to Edinburgh, which you spelled Edinburgh, and not visit a single distillery? I am not a Scotch drinker. Now, had I traveled there and been in the company of Alkali Bismuth or Boozy Badger, they would still be there years later. But I'm not a Scotch drinker, so I didn't go to any of the distilleries. I did learn a little factoid that the word whiskey comes from an old Gaelic word, ishkabaha, which means the water of life. That's what I took away from my trip there. Oh, God, Bruzo, hangover, stop. Bruzo was at a Dan Murphy's and saw a bottle of Australian sake. Bruzo, I know what you're talking about. When I was down there, I tried the Australian sake. It is ghastly. It is hell. It tastes like the devil's own anus. Do not get any of that. Oh, Nikolai Tiger says, Apex Fursuit Legends broke their donation goal. Excuse me, well, it's not that I don't believe you, but I very much want to see this myself. They did. Okay, that link that you see there at the beginning of the chat, where I've been enticing people, please consider a donation. All right, they made their goal. That's great. Let's see how much above the goal we can make, because that's one of the hallmarks of furries. We don't just do awesome, we blow awesome out of the water. We love when charities just their jaws drop and say, how the hell was that even possible? So if you still have a little bit of money left, or you just got here, there's a link in the chat, wherever the hell your chat is on my screen, it's down there. Click on that if you want to float a little bit of money. It's supporting the Children's Miracle Network. It's for a good cause. And again, it's my apology to some very, very hardworking and well-meaning furries who organized this charity thing, not realizing that I was going to be streaming at the same time. One Yin Yang, have you ever had a UFO experience? Okay. I will answer your question honestly. One Yin. Can I call you one? I'll call you one if that's okay. One. Yes, I have had a UFO experience in that I have seen something in the sky that I did not know what it was. And I'm full stop. I am not drawing any conclusion as to its origin or its nature. It was simply something that was in the sky, the nature of which I could not deduce at the moment. So yes, I have had an experience with an unidentified flying object. Where it came from? Was it extraterrestrial? Highly unlikely. It was probably, I don't know, the moonlight reflecting off of some swamp gas with a weather balloon. I don't know. Dead Channel is asking me, looking forward to being a guest of honor at Brazil Fur Fest. If I can get down there, yes, I am. I am eagerly looking forward to visiting Brazil. We've got to get the borders open first. Honest Flame would love for me to experience Cardiff Castle. The manor inside is possibly older than your country. Honest Flame, the Lord of Cardiff Castle probably has shoes older than my entire country. It's not difficult, but I would love to take you up on your invite sometime. And Benny says, I'd love to, invite me to go with Sue Deer and him to Scotland. Sue will drink my whiskey. It's a deal. Okay. Oh, and Jeremy the Head Fox says at least one furry helped the USS Olympia meet their recent fundraiser so folks can visit her aft deck. She's got a nice stern. I agree. She's, for a gal of her age, she's got a very, very shapely stern. Samson says, Cerberus is continually yawning behind my left shoulder. No, he's not yawning. That's a blep. He's blepping is what he's doing. And Sue would like to know, have I seen Stirling Castle? I don't think I've seen Stirling Castle. And Sue has, corrected the spelling to Sterling as from Sterling. Hello, Van Man 888888885. Good to see you. Oh, Silverganamon, hi. Oh, you got to work, but I'm glad you were able to show up for briefly. Fire for Lion, would you visit Slovenia and try some wine here? I have been to the Czech Republic. I've had wine from the old province of Moravia. I would definitely try Slovenian wine. Boy, I hope the stuff isn't hitting me that fast because I still got 3 more bottles to go through. Dave Nevius has no alcohol. You poor thing. Being forced to drink decaf coffee with mint. You are definitely... No, I will not have that. Go get yourself some booze right now. Lyson Wolf says, Slovenia is beautiful. The only problem with Slovenia is... Okay, I shouldn't say a problem with Slovenia. There is a prejudice. I used to work with a person who came from Slovenia, and we did not get along, shall we say. She'd gotten her degree at the University of Ljubljana, and let's just say we were at loggerheads quite a lot. So every time I hear Slovenia, there's this little thing in the back of my head goes... Maracuga would love to visit Iceland one day. Try to do it when the volcanoes are not erupting. They have a tendency to do that. By the way, before I forget, because I think I forgot a lot a couple of months ago when I was at Alkalize, for some reason I was having trouble remembering things. This is a Patreon-supported wine stream, and I would like to thank some of my generous, higher donating patrons here. We've got the list. Hang on. We are very grateful to Zilliver the Viking, Furry Trainer, Jackal the Circle, Mama T, Nikolai Tiger, Rick Hale, Silent Dawn, Silverganamon, Tal, Tezcat, Magic Jag, Valhalla, welcome Valhalla, Wadius the Dragon, Bentley Shepherd, Blackfoot Ferret, Botunus, David Hunter, Dunkel Pfote, Atheist, Jeremy the Hade Fox, Kaharia Worgan, Martin Spankenberg, McLovin Maine, Merlin Scorch, Mutter Wolf, Q the Dane, Rove Indigo, Sasha Whitefur, Six Ocelot, T, The Dragon Show, which really should be under D, I'll have to fix that, Ash, Wolfvelter, Bobaka, and Yaki Soba. Thank you all. Why you guys throw money at me to do this stupid shit, I will never know, but I'm very glad you do. Thank you very much for it. And Alkali says, did you forget to plug yourself last time? What do you mean plug myself? That sounds rude. And Clutch Fox, my new job will have me travel almost weekly. Would someone as well travel as yourself share any air travel hacks to help me? Oh, God. Okay, Clutch Fox, first off, this is a very bad time to be traveling. Keep yourself safe. But, okay, try to fly the same airline as often as you can and get yourself a frequent flyer account with that airline. Because the more you travel with that airline, the more they will suck your dick. You've got the silver level frequent flyer, you've got the gold level of frequent flyer, you've got the platinum level of frequent flyer, and then you've got the amazing super colossal suck my dick level frequent flyer. That will get you just about anything. And the nice thing about it is, if something goes wrong, you'll be the first one to get taken care of. The flight gets canceled, bad weather or something, they'll take care of you. You know, I hate to say it, it sounds terribly elitist, but it's very, very useful when you absolutely gotta be somewhere and they say, well, we're terribly sorry, there's nothing we can do. You pull out that SMD card and they say, oh, yeah, we can get you there tomorrow by 11. Anonymous Flame says, did you read me out? I'm sure I did. Let me pull this out here. Winestream patrons. Yes, you were between Nikolai Tiger and Rick Hale. So yes, I did read your name. I'll read it again, unexplained, in case I missed you. Caraway says, I must away. Well, I didn't even know you were here. Good to see you, bunny. Boy. And Silence says, my tip of dressing well while traveling. Don't go away. Be right back. Okay. Here we are. This is my traveling attire. Always, without fail. Why? Don't dress like a goddamn schlub when you're flying. This just screams business traveler. And the airlines have a tendency to suck the collective dicks of their business travelers. I could be on my way to a furry convention. I could be on my way to, fly to Alkali's to get shit-faced and wake up with a headache lying in the snow naked. But if you're dressed like this, the airlines, just by their very nature, will take better care of you. And a tip for the younger folks. Let's say something goes wrong. And let's say you don't have that SMD card. You're traveling and you're dressed like this. And the flight gets canceled or overbooked or something. And all hell is breaking loose. Don't be that guy who goes, I'm important and they're not going to help you. In fact, they will do their best to screw you. If you act like a jackass, they will screw you because they can. So stay quiet. Dress like this. Try to find a ticket agent who is a woman over the age of about 55. There's a reason. Look for an older lady who's a ticket agent. Wait quietly in line, and when you get up there, do this. I beg your pardon, ma'am. You'll have her. At that, take your hat off and call her ma'am, and she will get you the best seat on the best flight, any place you want to go. Take it from me, it works. I've done it numerous times. Cheers. And Gummy Bjorn has just shared a picture of me dressed like that shooting a Tommy gun. Yeah, I have. Sanson the Cat Fox says, Kage is a great story about helping a U.S. soldier and dealing with a loudmouth businessman. Oh, yes. And I still have the flight coupon on my refrigerator as a little souvenir from that. Oh, Bossasaur hosted his first online convention panel. Use the Winestream as my template. In other words, you were drunk out of your ass. It worked, didn't it? And you had 93 viewers. Congratulations. You have done well, young grasshopper. Jeremy the Cat Hate Fox wears, I wear a Nomex onesie for work. That sounds like a kink, actually. And confirm that packs that are jerks that don't get what they want. Yes, they are. And Camara Cougar says, that outfit just screams mobster. What, this outfit? With the Philadelphia accent? Yeah, let me just have a word with you over here, just in private for just a second. Won't take long. And Sadok Makto, I am streaming, blah, blah. What is tonight's drink? Tonight's drink is a Blackberry hard cider. Which goes down very easy, like my first girlfriend. And it is very, very tasty. And the only problem is it's a lower alcohol content than I'm used to. It's about 6.5%. So I'm getting the effect of the alcohol, but my body is starting to notice that it has had a lot of liquid added to it, if you understand my meaning. I might have to put things on hold for a second or two coming up. Justin Hunley, what's the worst furry convention? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Hold that thought. I'm going to answer that question in a couple of minutes because I gotta pee real bad. Be right back. Okay, we're almost back. I'm trying to find a pair of pliers because I cannot get the second bottle open. I'll be right back. Things float around in the yard. A pair of channel locks when I need them. Ah! Okay. The lady at the kombucha place that bottles this for me, she's a very, very sweet, nice lady. Her name is Trudy. But she's got a hell of a grip. When she puts these lids on, oh, Jesus. It's good for my diet. It burns the calories that I need. There we are. This is such good shit. So we are back. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yes, the question came up. What's the world's worst furry convention? Ordinarily, I would not answer that question for political reasons. But those of you who have been following my career, by the way, when you get old, you like to have pillows behind your back, might have heard the story of a convention that I attended not very long ago, where for some reason I feel absolutely unabashed about slamming. Typically, it is bad form for one convention chairman to speak ill of another convention. But I'm gonna. Again, if you've heard this story, go get a cheeseburger or something, or see what's on Netflix. This will take about 6 or 7 minutes. I was invited to a little convention. Boozy Badger, as my legal counsel constantly pleads with me not to mention any actual names. So, we're going to refer to this as Crapital Shitty Fur Con. It was to take place in Embarrassburg, Pennsylvania, in January of 2020. I got an email from their chairman. Oh, wait, Dave Nebius says the sound's out of sync. Too bad. Anyway, if the sound's out of sync, I can't do dick about it. My Asian is stuffed. So, I got this email way back in 2019. We are starting a new convention in Embarrassburg. Would you be our guest of honor? Well, I was a little... of course, I'd love to, but, a first-year con usually doesn't have a lot of capital, and you're not at a very good time of year, and I'm a Pennsylvanian. I happen to know Embarrassburg very well, and you sure you're going to have it here? I asked, let's be honest, you're going to have to spend money to get me there. Do you have that kind of money? He assured me he did. So I said, yes, okay, we'll go. So I said, all right, I will get my plane ticket and you guys can reimburse me. When you're a guest, it's expected that they're going to pay your travel expenses. But since it's a first-year convention, I didn't want them, to have to dig into their own pockets. I'll pay my travel expenses. They can pay me back once registration gets up and running. So, a couple of months went by. Their registration was cranking along, and I sent an email. Okay, I tried to get a nice cheap ticket. I'm not going to be flying first class on these guys' dime. $330 some. Okay, here it is. Just here's my PayPal. Send it along whenever you can. And I didn't hear back. And I waited for a little while, and I said, so yeah, the reimbursement any time now. Here's the PayPal. Just send it on in. And I still didn't hear anything. So I waited a while longer. And I thought, oh, well, maybe they need the receipt. So I sent a PDF of the receipt. Sorry, here's the receipt. Just send the money on my way. You know, reimbursement. Yeah, money. I noticed time was passing, and not only was I not getting my reimbursement, but nobody was talking to me. Typically, you're contacted by the programming director or by the hotel liaison about, you know, your hotel room, and here's what we want you to do, and would you run a charity auction, blah, 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 blah. Somewhere in the fall, as we're coming toward January, I decided to look at their webpage. Why I didn't look at their webpage before that is beyond me. There were 6 guests of honor listed. Let me put that into perspective for you. I run Anthrocon. I've got $800,000 to play with. I can afford 3 guests of honor. This guy had 6. And I wasn't listed among them. So I thought, okay. So I sent another email saying, okay, hello, nothing. The beginning of December, we are now 1 month away. I sent an email, and that email said, okay, look, that's how it started out. Okay, look. We are 4 weeks out. I've not seen the reimbursement for my travel. I'm not mentioned on your webpage. Nobody has contacted me about any programming. I don't even know if I have a hotel room. Do you still want to do this? The answer came back in an email. Single word. Yes. That's all it said. Yes, full stop. I said, okay, I can see a story coming out of this. So I contacted Boozy. Boozy is not terribly far away from Embarrassburg. So I said, hey, I'm supposed to be a guest at this crap little shitty Furry Con in Embarrassburg. Here's the chairman. Do you know anything about him? Yeah, Boozy knew something about him. Because Boozy is a lawyer. He's got access to, like, lawyer Google. Yeah, he knew about this guy. I said, oh, great. So Boozy was my backup plan. If I got there and the hotel didn't have a room for me, or the con wasn't even going on, Boozy was going to come and get me, and I would just like hang out at his place for the weekend. That was the contingency plan. I got there. There had been no arrangement made to get me from the airport to the hotel. I just took a cab. I got to the hotel, and already things were starting to go south because there were twitters coming out in the tweet twats that were showing up from the twat who ran the tweet saying, we're not going to be having some of the events in the rooms where they had originally been advertised. I showed up on Friday night, went to the bar. By the way, those who are asking, this is Blackberry hard cider tonight. And the next morning I woke up and I had a printout of my receipt for my airfare. And I was practicing in front of the mirror, as one does. I was going to go up and say, excuse me, I'd like a word with you. I'd like a word with you. Yeah, I'd like a word with you. Yeah, I'd like a word with you. It's with the, okay, got it. So I walked downstairs. And I went to convention operations, which is the office, the nerve center. And I walked in, and the room was empty. Tables and chairs were set up. There was not a living being in there other than myself. Along the back wall was a table, and there was a big pile of cash sitting on the table. And I said, well, there's my reimbursement. But when I walked toward it, it was sitting next to a big glass punch bowl, and on the side of that punch bowl, it had a sign that said, charity. Okay, ixnay. That is the one sacred, irrevocable, hard and fast rule in our fandom. Above anything else, you don't touch the charity money. That is like a covenant with God. So I was going to touch that money. And I looked around and thought, is anybody else going to touch it? So as an experiment, I touched it. And then I walked out of the room, and I went downstairs through the lobby, exited the hotel, and walked up the street. Nobody said a word to me. I could have stuffed all that stuff in my pants and been gone. So I quickly turned round, ran back. The room was as I had left it. So the convention chairman instincts set in. I sat down and I fucking ran their operations for them for the next 3/4 of an hour until their chairman finally slumped his way in. He came down and had some of his staff, and okay, they're doing convention staff stuff. I just stayed in the background. Not going to interfere with that. So finally, when the chairman was away from his staff, I walked up and said, excuse me, I'd like a word with you. This is the receipt for my airfare. And he said, oh, great, thanks, and took it, scooped up the charity money under his arm with the bowl, and turned and walked away. And I said, yeah, okay. So, I didn't know what else to do. I just walked out of the room and, okay, what am I going to do? I'm just going to be Uncle Kage. That's what they expect me to do. That's why you had me at a con. Go be Uncle Kage. So I went out. I was mingling with people. I was talking. I was trying to be funny. I was trying to be friendly. And about an hour later, this guy came up to me and he said, the only chairmanly thing he said the entire weekend. So, is everything going okay? Can I get you anything? Would you like some wine? Normally there's a stock answer to that question, but my answer that morning was, actually, I would much rather have the reimbursement for my travel expenses. And he smiled and turned and walked away. The entire rest of the weekend was just like that. They did have me on the programming schedule. They had me do a charity auction. They had me do a charity event. I did my thing. They brought me in there. Okay. They're still attendees. They're like, oh, great. We want to see Uncle Kage. Okay, fine. I'll do my thing. I'm happy. And I did my best, as any performer should. And then I packed up and I left. And I went back home. And I didn't hear anything for several months. I didn't hear anything directed toward me, but what I heard was on the Twitterverse. People were starting to ask questions. They were asking this guy, so you reported after the convention that your con raised $4,000 for charity. Their charity was the ALS Association. Claimed afterward, as all con chairs do, is the first thing. The con's done. This is how much we raised for charity. They'd raised $4,000. People said, can we see some evidence that it went to the charity? Can we see a receipt? The chairman's response was to post an image of a receipt. The receipt that he posted was in the sum of, I recall, about $237, and it was in the name of Made for You, one of the other 7 guests, which is very, very curious. As it turned out, Made for You, they had done a charity event at which they had raised $237. Forgive me if I get the exact numbers wrong. I'm old. I don't remember shit like that. It's illustrative. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $237 they had raised in their charity event. Now, being very, very wise folk and rather curious about the workings of this convention, when the chairman came to them and said, great, let me have the charity money, they said, better idea. We're going to give the money straight to the charity, and then we'll give you the receipt so you can then add that to the convention's credit as money raised at the convention. So it was this receipt that he posted, $237. People naturally said, where's the rest of the money? His response was to delete his furry, delete his furry Twitter, delete the convention's Twitter account, delete the convention's Facebook account, delete the convention's webpage, basically completely eradicate everything online related to him or the convention. As you can imagine, people found this somewhat suspect. Now, I still had his contact information as his guest. So I sent him an email, and in that email I said, you're in a pickle, my boy. We should talk. Well, he invited me to call him, in which I did. I did want to help, because what I suspected, I've seen this before. Believe me, I've been in this business a long time. I've seen it before. I've seen young kids think they can run a furry convention, and they get themselves in so far over their heads that they don't know how to get out. So I was trying to think of ways to help him claw his way out of this pit. So I called him and I said, okay, first and foremost, did you make that donation? Be honest with me. And he said, yes, absolutely. I said, okay, then there shouldn't be a problem. Do you have a receipt? He said, yes, I do. I said, beautiful. Sorry, I'm from Philadelphia. Beautiful. Where's the receipt? He said, well, it's at home. I'm off somewhere right now. I'm not at home. This was a Friday. I said, well, listen to me. You need to call a neighbor and have that neighbor break into your house and get that receipt, because it needs to be made public, and it needs to be made public now, because with every passing hour, this thing is blowing up bigger and bigger. You can stop it. It will all stop as soon as that receipt sees the light of day. He said, I can do it first thing Monday morning. And I said, okay, do it. Monday morning came, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then, as one would expect, Thursday, and then, strangely enough, Friday. Then there was another weekend. The following Monday, it's now been a week, I sent in an email in which I said, "You never made that donation, did you?" His reply to me had no words in it. It was simply an image. It was a photograph. A photograph of a receipt taken from about 3 feet away that, if you blew it up, kind of looked like a donation, an ALS Association donation receipt, and you can make out Capital Shitty FurCon, you can make out Embarrassburg, Pennsylvania, and a number that was something like 3770, something like that. And then a bunch of other, receipt stuff below it, dates, transaction numbers, blah, 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 blah. But it was very, very hazy, and you really had to squint and use your imagination to see this info. So I sent him an email back saying, "Great, wonderful. Can you send me a clearer scan of it, and I'll fix it for you?" Didn't hear back. I sent that receipt that I had been sent, that photograph, to Boozy, the Boozy Badger. Very, very wise man, wise beyond his years. He's a youngster, by the way. He's quite young. You guys didn't know that. By which I mean he's under 40. I sent this to him and I said, "What do you make of this?" Possibly the only person on the face of the earth who is going to be more enraged at charity fraud than me is Boozy. Boozy went bananas. He went ape shit. Bananas are ape shit. Anyway, because he himself did a Google image search for ALS Association donation receipt, and the very first picture that came up looked remarkably like this one, only made out to a different organization for a different amount. Two very strange things. The ALS Association logo on this receipt looked very, very different from any I'd ever seen. I didn't know if that meant anything. That logo was outdated. It was last used in 2014, before the ALS Association changed their logo. The receipt this guy sent me had a 6-year-old outdated logo on it. And the one feature, the singular feature of the receipt he sent me that was clear enough to read without a magnifying glass was the transaction number. It's a very unique number. It was like 4114466. And that was exactly the same transaction number that was shown on this image of a receipt from 2014. And that's when I said, I'm done helping this guy. So I contacted the ALS Association myself in Pennsylvania, and I said, "Hi. This might sound like a really strange question, but have you guys been in touch with anybody who called himself a so-called furry?" And the response back was, "Oh, you mean Capital Shitty FurCon? We've been wondering when we'd hear from them. Weren't they supposed to send us a donation?" Okay, that was all the info I needed. I contacted the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Attorney General's office, and I said, I need to talk to an investigator in the charity fraud department. Yeah, I started that ball rolling. Why? Because this guy had defrauded a charity in the name of furry fandom in my backyard. I felt that it was my responsibility to make good on this, to save the reputation of this, so far, absolutely unimpeachable group of people. I sent out a plea to furries. I'm not asking you to bail this guy out. I'm asking you to bail the fandom out. Let's save our good name. We raised roughly twice the amount of money this guy claimed to have raised. So the ALS Association was happy and thought furries were okay. Good. All right. That was what I'd set out to do. Here's where things get strange. You thought they were strange before? Sit down. Strap in. I put word out. I need anything anybody has. A receipt that says charity donation, anything that could be used in court. And the furries stepped up. Dozens of people sent me all sorts of stuff, and I funneled all of it to the investigator. And one day, I got an email from the investigator saying, may we have your contact information, and would you be available to testify in court if called? Well, I sent that information, and I sent an affirmative response. Half an hour later, I had a voicemail from the chairman saying, can I talk to you? I think he got a letter. Well, things were quiet for a while. And then out of the blue, the Capital Shitty FurCon Twitter was reignited, suddenly returned. And it came back with a claim of, oh, hi, the chairman is probably going to jail, but I'm his cousin. So I'm going to be taking over all of the Capital Shitty FurCon affairs, so I'm not him, I'm his cousin. So everybody believe that, I'm just his cousin. Well, people started asking questions, and this person just went completely nonsensical, started screaming and babbling and blithering, and then deleted all of these brand new accounts. And then a few weeks later, a brand new convention in that same neighborhood was announced, Amish Country FurCon. And people said, hey, aren't you the same person that ran Capital Shitty FurCon? And bam, all of their social media stuff got deleted. That's where we stand right now. Josh Bailey is saying, do not piss off Uncle Kage. No, you can piss off Uncle Kage. I'm pretty harmless. Don't fuck with charity money when Uncle Kage is around, because I'm not harmless at that point. I will fuck you up. That's the one thing you cannot do when I'm around. The absolute one thing you can. You want to insult my mom? Go ahead. She can take care of herself. You want to call me names? Knock yourself out. But you fuck with charity money when I'm around, and I'll see you in jail. And I won't stop until you have rotted in a cell. Ask Doug O how far I'm willing to chase people. That was a very long answer to a very short question. I'm sorry, maybe I should look back at the chat, see how things are here. oh, suddenly nobody's saying this isn't a Winestream without the Singapore national anthem. Actually, it probably isn't. When I was at Alkali's place, I apparently belted out a very, very poor rendition of the Latvian national anthem. And I was doing it in honor of my absolutely beloved colleague, Natalia. Did I mention Natalia on the stream? I don't quite recall exactly what happened because it was a couple weeks later. Natalia came to my office and said, so, when do I get to hear your recording of National Anthem? Who told her? What happened that night? Benny says I texted her live. I did? Maybe I should gulp more of this. And Onyx says I texted her on the... And Tezcat says I did. So maybe we should just keep moving right along. Singapore national... I could sing the Welsh national anthem. I could sing the Australian national anthem. Justin Hunley, what's the best furry convention to go to? The next one that is held after the COVID pandemic. There, that's your answer. Sully, any updates on Doug O? You are right, Sully. To answer an earlier question, Anthrocon's board of directors would not allow me to continue chasing Doug O. Those of you who don't know that story, it's a very long one. This was another person who tried to cheat Anthrocon. He figured he could get away with it, and what he woke up to was me standing at the end of his driveway in Colorado with 2 police officers on either side of me waiting for him to come out of his house. You don't fuck with Uncle Kage, okay? But we got our money back from him, but I wanted to continue making his life hell, and the board of directors said no. They would not let me continue to bully rag him. So I answered, okay, I don't run Anthrocon. I answer to the board of directors. They are my bosses. So I had to drop it, at least officially. Every year since then, I've sent Doug O a Christmas card from, Sam Conway and all the furries. Hope you're doing great. Last year's Christmas card was, can't wait to see you again. And you are correct. It's time to start sending Christmas cards this year. I'll send something equally cheery and Christmassy and brotherly lovey and not at all threatening. Onyx Flame says, would I find the Welsh flag? Yes, I would. Stay, Tiger. Okay. I have my collection of flags of all nations here. Look up the movie The Big Bus. You'll understand. Okay. This is almost the Welsh flag, except it's missing the dragon. Actually, yeah. Picture a dragon in the middle of it, and that's Wales. Let's see. No, here it is. All right, yeah. Okay, so we got it. It's like, it's just, Wales is great, whales eat fish, and whales are wonderful, and we love whales. Okay, that's the Welsh national anthem. All right, whoa, that's falling over. Okay. Ace Maddox. Now, okay, Ace, that's me. I'm not going to repeat what Ace just said. I'm not going to say it. But I will repeat something Benny Hill once said. What you call a Welshman with 50 girlfriends? A shepherd. Oh, Ozzy-chan, hello. No guest this week. COVID, sorry. One yin yang. Why am I not seeing a U.S. flag? There's a U.S. flag in here. You just have to find it. It's the one with the stars and the. It's in here. Believe me. I just got to dig it up. Johannes Klere, now the German one. I got a German one in here. God damn it! I should probably put labels on them. Oh wait, here we go. It's either Germany or Belgium. I can't remember which. But yeah, it's just Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit für das deutsche Vaterland. Except you need lots of drums and bugles and marching and wonderful stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, Sky the Gunfox, I'm definitely not repeating that. Onyx Flame says, when the UK flags have been made, England decided a red cross, white, or Scotland a white cross and blue, and Wales said, just screw y'all, big fucking dragon, because you can't draw. Okay, that's pretty much it. We've got the I recently did a little stream for the good furs in Taiwan at Infernity, so I had to get this flag especially for that. Let's see. And the UK flag is in here. Actually, I got, okay. We got the flag of St. George. We got the what some people call the Union Jack. We got the Scottish flag is in here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, see, you that's it. Yeah, you put all these together, and apparently you get a British flag, and then Welsh come along and say, fucking dragon. There, that's pretty much how it works, right? And Mr. Who says, yeah, the German one is the old Austria-Hungary anthem, yes. Okay, there's one that I wish they'd adopted. That's the one that says, you fuck the French because we're German. You know that one? Versteht und treu die Wacht am Rhein. Versteht und treu die Wacht am Rhein. Watch the movie Casablanca. It was a big hit in that one there. Rich says, where's the Swiss flag? Okay, I'll tell you what. Take the negative image of this when you have the Swiss flag. There, that's pretty close. Sometimes we just have to kind of do the best we can, all right? Yeah. Okay, Bruzo Dragonius, you're one of the people who did not read my entire tweet. Please go back and read the entire tweet. It was a fucking joke. I took part in some sort of joke meme thing, and people took me seriously. For shit's sake, humor is dead. Tyro, that's very mean. The French flag is not just a white sheet. That's the flag of Alabama. Let's see. And, the French, people are saying the French are copying the Dutch flag and the Dutch are copying the French flag. Here we go. All right, yeah. We have the Nederlander flag here, which in a pinch, if you find a Frenchman, you can make a French flag out of it. Just do that kind of thing, right? Amy says, ever consider mounting all those flags on a lazy Susan and giving it a good spin to see all of them waving? Lazy Susan's in the channel. Let's ask her. I love you, dear. Weissenwolf says, what about the Italian flag and anthem? That's it. It's la da 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 da. We love pizza and the pasta too, and the spaghetti and the meatballs and the marinara too. No one can resist the marinara that we make. Okay, play ball. All right, that's the Italian national anthem. There you go. Camaro Cougar is asking, with the American flag, is the stars always on the top left? Yes, Camaro Cougar, that is correct. It's in here somewhere, Jesus Christ. The proper display of the American flag is with the field of stars in the upper left, whether it is, there it is, whether it is horizontal or vertical. So the flag is most appropriately displayed, well, okay, for you guys, it's most appropriately displayed this way. If it is to be hung vertically, it is displayed this way. Okay. And where's the Anthracon's mini flag? Okay, Amy asks, Anthracon's flag covers the entire back of the sofa. That's why there's no mini flag here. And what about the Canadian flag? What about the Canadian flag? It's in here somewhere. That's the red and white one, right? Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. There's some that... No, that's not it. Hang on. There we go. Right. See, the Canadian flag, this actually came from Anthracon's Lost and Found. It fell off of somebody's car, so it doesn't fit in the... So I can do this. It's like this. It's, oh, Canada, my home and native land. Then you have to sing in French. Yeah. Oh, Canada, terre de nos sailloux. And you have to, let's keep going back and forth. French and English and like whatever until you're tired. Okay. Sorry, I kind of lost track. Oh, actually, I'm starting to feel this, so I should, at this point, get to a portion of the stream which is specifically for some of my generous Patreon patrons who ask me to draw shit for them. And I mean that quite literally. I pretty much just take brain shit onto the paper. And for some reason, they keep giving me money for it. You people got more money than sense. That's the amazing part. That's why I love you. So we're going to go to the drawing portion of this stream. Now, those of you who have been to my place here and have seen the setup, typically what I do is I have a table over here, and I get up and I go and I sit at that table, and I got a separate camera on that table, and then somebody over here reads shit, and it's like, it occurred to me that I got all this landscape of table in front of me here. So I got the drawing cam, right? The drawing cam is sitting right here, pointing down. So this is going to be a test. Let's see if this actually works. And we're going to go to the drawing cam right now. Please work, please work. I should have tested this out. It does work. Yay. Okay, great. So this is like right in front of me. The screen's up here, and this is my... Great. Let me see if I can get a little more light on the subject here. All right. That did absolutely shit. Okay, never mind. All right. So here's the way this works. Please don't go asking me questions in the channel, because I'm not looking at the channel right now. Right now, I am looking at a request that people sent where they say, Uncle Kage, can you draw this? And the answer is no. I'm going to draw whatever the hell I want. But I'll try to make it look at least something like what you asked for. Okay, so first we have Silver the Viking. Silver he's become a very good friend of the family. I love you to pieces, my dear boy, and I can't wait to see you again. He says, anything Da Vinci. Anything Da Vinci. Okay, now, traditionally, I don't look at these things in advance if I can avoid it. So it's as much a surprise to me as it is to anybody else. So he's saying anything Da Vinci, and I don't even know what the hell he's talking about, so I'm going to have to make it up. All right, let me do a quick Da Vinci. Okay, we can do that. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to do Da Vinci. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, let's see. We're going to do that this way. All right. All right. Okay. I need to get my screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is for Silver. Now, Silver is a Viking. Wait a minute. S-I-L. My camera is backwards, isn't it? Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. One second. Hang on. Let me. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Okay. Okay. Video. Settings. Yeah, that's it. Okay, sorry. Technical difficulties. We're finished with them now. Okay. Anyway, Silver. Silver is a wolf, and wolves, they've got like this floof on either side of their face. They've got these kind of boxing muzzles like this, right? And they got ears that kind of look like that. And he's a very happy wolf, but he's also a Viking. So he's got like horns on his hat, just like that. But he is he's a Da Vinci wolf. So he, for some strange reason, he's got 4 arms coming out of his body here, and massive pectoral muscles, and then he's got 4 legs. I really don't know why he's got. It must be a wolf thing. I don't know. So, and then he's got like hands doing that. What people don't realize is Leonardo da Vinci had a fetish for extra limbs. I don't remember what the name is. It's an extra limb fetish. They found this on the Renaissance version of Fur Affinity under the adult section. So yeah, this is, and it's got like a circle around, but I'm not going to draw it because I can't draw a circle. So that's Da Vinci for Silver. Thank you very much, Silver. Let me put this over here. Incidentally, Alkali, I might have left one of my pieces of non-artwork, look under the sofa if you would. I think I left something there. Okay. All right. Rick Hale. This is Rick Hale. Rick for short. Hang on. Okay. Rick Hale says, Grandma Kage sharing a drink with Alkali while Kage prattles on about the rules and regulations of Anthrocon in the background. Okay, that's easy. Here's Grandma Kage. She also identifies with wolves, so she's got this big floof here and wolfy ears, and of course they're very, very happy. But she's an old lady, so she's got extra hair that wolves do. And she has a glass of wine, like that. and she is sharing this drink with Alkali. Alkali is a ferret. They are very, very long, skinny creatures, and they've got these masks. And Alkali specifically has a top hat, like this here, right? And he's wearing his trader jacket, which I don't know what it looks like. It's kind of like that. And they got these really long limbs, these ferrets. And they're like long, long boys. They just keep on going, you know. And he's got a bottle of tequila because that's what he likes. He's got like Don Juan tequila there, right? Okay, and they're enjoying themselves and they're having a good time. And in the background, we got Uncle Kage prattling. Okay, Uncle Kage. Remember, Uncle Kage has got his potato-shaped head. We've seen this before, and he's got ears and he's got his astroturf hair. Yep, and he's going on. Yes, blah, and he's got his tie and he's got his lab coat and he's like blah, waving his arms, and he's like blah, 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 don't you do it, blah, blah, thou shalt not, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Okay, that's for Rick Hale. Thank you very much. This is Uncle Kage. Signing off. Thank you very much, Rick, for your support. Why you want me to draw this crap, God only knows. All right. Okay. Let's make sure no crap is going on here. Hang on. Okay, next we have Furry Trainer. Oh, Furry Trainer, she's wonderful. Furry Trainer. Furry Trainer celebrating her puppy's 1-year birthday. Okay, Furry Trainer, she is an Alsatian. Now, the thing is about Alsatians is they look exactly like wolves in that they have this floof over here and they have these wolfy-like ears. And she's all totally happy. Let's make that look more happy. Yep, like that. And we have a birthday cake, with one candle on it for the puppy, who is just like a tiny little Alsatian version, just like this. And of course, we have the waggy tails. Gotta have the waggy tails. Yep. Celebrating the 1-year birthday. Now, here's the funny thing. That came in, I have a spreadsheet where people can put these things in, and that is the second entry. The third entry is also Furry Trainer, saying exactly the same thing. So over here, we've got Furry Trainer, who is still an Alsatian, and who is still very, very happy, and is still very waggy. And we still have a first birthday cake, and we still have a little tiny Alsatian over here who's just a puppy who's celebrating our first birthday with the waggy tail. Why she sent it to me twice, I don't know, but thank you very much for your support, my darling. You're very, very sweet, so you get that. Thank you very kindly. All right. Next, we have Valhalla, who is a new Patreon patron. Very, very good to see you, Valhalla. Thank you very much. It says, Bemani the tiger in the CNN news. So you'll excuse me while I go to CNN because I don't know who Bemani the tiger is. CNN.com. Federal judges try the Okay, let's go to the Googles. .com, and we'll put in BEM Tiger. Oh, there it is. There it is. Bimani Tiger on YouTube. Okay, I might not be CNN, but there's Bimani. Okay, we're gonna draw him. So we have Bimani Tiger. Bimani Tiger has a nose, and Bimani Tiger's nose is kind of tiger-shaped. It kind of comes down, does this sort of thing, goes back up, and it's got like nostrils there, like tigers do. And he's got a muzzle, which does this tigery thing. It's got like, you know, this testicle shape under there like that, like tigers got. And he's got these really, really big eyes, which kind of, I don't know what's with those really big ass eyes he's got. And then he's got all this weird floof like a 1960s hippie drummer. Then he's got these giant cookie shaped ears up here, which got like stuff inside him. And then the rest of his head comes down, and oh, he's got fangs, which do that. And he's got a muzzle, which does that. And he's got more fangs there. And he's got floof here, and he's got shoulders. On CNN.com, I don't have the foggiest idea what I'm doing, but that's as close as we can get. So thank you very much, Valhalla. I hope that's what you wanted. Actually, it isn't, but I don't care. It's my stream. What I say goes. Okay, let's get rid of that crap. Oh, right, got this way, this way. Okay, next up. See, right now my mom is probably getting a drink because she thinks this is the boring part of the stream. That's okay. She's allowed to think what she wants. Next we have Onyx Flame. Hello, darling Onyx Flame. It's me, Grandma Kage, and a guest of your choosing having a socially distanced dinner and wine. Okay, we can do that. Okay, it's Grandma Kage and me. Well, let's do Grandma Kage first. Again, she associates with the wolf, so we got this, floof here and the big wolfy ears, and she's got her glass of wine. She's actually holding this properly by the stem. I didn't draw that before, right? Okay, and socially distant. Way over here, we've got Uncle Kage with his potato-shaped head and his astroturf hair. And he's like, wow, dude. Oh, man, I can taste the color. Whoa. So he's got his wine, which he's also holding by the stem. And their socially distant guest is the Welsh dragon who has come to have wine. So the Welsh dragon, he's got like a bowel sprit on his face. Nobody knows why, but it really looks cool. And then his head comes up, and then he's got like ears which do this, and he's got this angry dragon eye. It's like blah. And then he's got teeth. It's like teeth. I got teeth, and there's more teeth here. And then he's got like the tongue, which is like I'm a tongue, and teeth, more teeth. And then he's got dragons always have this like stuff on their cheeks. Nobody knows why. And he's got fangs or things there, and then he's got neck plates and cross hatches and more whatevers. But he's also got a glass of wine because we're all enjoying some wine together, right? Okay, so he's got a nice glass of wine as well. So, and we are socially distanced. Okay, we have here at least 2 meters. 2 meters and 2 meters. There you go. Okay, that's Uncle Kage. All right, thank you very much, Unexplained. This is yay whales. Okay. Next we have tau. Tau. We have tau, the Greek letter tau. Please draw a lion sipping some champagne. Excuse me. Actually, I need to kind of recharge this. Excuse me just a second. God damn, this stuff is good. Okay, where were we? All right. Lion drawing certificate. Lions look extremely like tigers in that they got these testicle-shaped faces, right? And they have noses. But and they're very, very happy. But unlike tigers, lions have these giant afros. You know, you thought they went away in the 70s. No, lions got this. They got that shit down. Okay, right? And lions are kind of shaped like peanuts, like that there. And he is happily sipping some champagne. Okay, champagne. I'm going to put the glass. He's got a burp, so the glass is over here. So he's got a champagne flute. Now, champagne flutes, they tend to be tall like that. And they got the bubbles coming out. Well, that actually looks pretty good. And the lion also has some bubbles coming out because he's been enjoying quite a lot of champagne. Maybe it's New Year's or something like that. So that is as good as you're going to get when it comes to lions because I have no formal training in art. Okay, thank you very much, Tal. Nikolai. Here we have Nikolai. What Boozy's goatee is doing now that it's free. Wow. Okay, there's an idea forming in my head, and I'm trying to decide if I should. But you know what? It's my stream. I can do whatever the hell I want. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it. We're gonna no yeah yes no. Sorry, I'm looking for drawing reference. Hang on. No. Sorry. Hang on. Let me look up proper drawing reference here. Okay, that'll do. Okay, Nick. Boozy's goatee. We have Boozy's goatee. Boozy's goatee is kind of shaped like this, and it's very hairy, right? And it's got eyes because it's anthropomorphic, right? So it's basically just a bundle of hair. And it's got little legs, and it's got arms because it's anthropomorphic. And it's trying to get in to 1, 2, 3, 4. It's trying to get into this stately old Georgian house. Let's give an extra little thing over there. Let's give an extra little thing over there, which goes over like this. And it's got a window there, and it's got a window there, and it's got a door there, and it's got a big tall window there, and it's got a big tall window there, and it's got a window there, and it's got a window there, and it's got a window there. And you get the idea. It's got a window there, and 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 it's got a window there. And he's just like completely, I forgot the window there. And it's got a flagpole up here, and as we said, the stars go over here, and it's got stripes. I'm going to take this over here. I'm going to say, so now that Boozy's goatee is free, All right, we're just going to throw that back there, and we're not going to say anything about it, and we're going to sign it Uncle Kage, and we're going to get it off the stream, and we're not going to mention any more about that. There we go. Okay, next up we have, let's get that off of there. Oh, Silent Dawn, Silent Dawn. Silent Dawn. Silent Dawn is a tiger. But he's going to be a small tiger here because tigers, they got the testicle faces like that, and he's very happy, and they got the cookie-shaped ears, but he's a tiger because they're very stripy, right? He's got stripes. Now, Silent Dawn is at the Pumpkin Chunkin Nationals. He has this absolutely colossal pneumatic cannon for chunking a pumpkin, and that cannon is fed by a gigantic pair of fireplace bellows. That's where the air pressure comes in. But here is the interesting thing about this. We have Silent Dawn and his gigantic pumpkin chunkin cannon. That is a cannon designed to fling a pumpkin through pneumatic energy, by the way. And here's the key. Let the chat decide a name for my giant air-powered boomstick. Okay, chat, go. What is the name of this air-powered pneumatic implement of destruction? Kai Johnson is first. Its name is George. That's what we're doing. Thank you very much. No, it's George, and this is for Silent Dawn because that was the first thing that came out. Thank you very much. It is George the 8th. We're going to let you historians figure that one out. All right. Thank you very much, Silent Dawn. That's another tiger for you. All right. And last but not least, we have Silver Gatomon. Now, Silver Gatomon was here briefly, and I think he had to go, but it's okay. We'll draw for him anyway. Silver Gatomon, A.G. Gatomon, says, Tianlong fighting off a pack of wolves invading his wine cellar. Okay, first off, we need Tianlong. Tianlong, he's got a face kind of shaped like this, and he's always very, very angry, right? And he's got these big-ass weirdo horns that nobody can figure out that do this kind of thing, right? And he's got dragony things like that, and he's like completely angry all the time. But you would be too if people were after your wine, right? Because here's his wine cellar. Behind him, you just can't imagine all the wine bottles, and he is fighting off an entire pack of wolves. So here we have the entire pack of wolves. Kind of comes around like that. And wolves, remember, they've got these kind of boxy muzzles, and they got the floof over here, and they have the big wolfy ears. And this is wolves, one pack. So an entire pack of wolves is after his wine, and he's like, no way you're getting my wine. So thank you, Silver Gatomon. So let's see. That is Silver Raquel, Furry Trainer, twice, Valhalla, Onyx Flame, Tau, Nikolai, Silent Dawn, Silver Gatomon. Thank you all for your support. I still don't know why the hell you do it, but I'm glad you do. So we're going to go back now to the couch cam. And remember this stuff? It goes through you. I gotta go again. So I'll tell you what. Here we go. Ronnie is going to entertain you until I get back. Say some jokes. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the biological downside to having a beverage which is like 93% water. But we're going to come back, and we're going to come back with the blazer on because I rather like this look. I think not only do I like this look, but I actually had to have all of my jackets and shirts tailored to fit my new bod, so I might as well show them off here. Here we go. So once again, thank you to my amazing Patreon patrons. I still don't know why you do. I think you're dumb, but I'm so glad that you're dumb in my direction. Here's to you. Dave Nevius says, Ronnie's a terrible comedian. Oh, but look at that 6-pack. Look at that 8-pack. Look at that 12 bits. Where are you going to see a pack like that? Eh? All right. Thank you, Ronnie. Okay. Onyx Flame says, when's the next Winestream? I don't know. Let me look at my calendar. This is the November, and probably it's going to be... I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Okay, it might be the 5th of December. Why? Because that would have been the Midwest Fur Fest weekend, and, well, if people are disappointed, I'll be the consolation prize. Okay, all right. Oh, Vovaka's got to go. Vovaka, thank you for joining us tonight, as always. Vovaka's been on the stream before. You might have seen him. He's the other Viking. Let's see. Vice and Wolf says, Uncle Kage, have you heard about Michael Franzese? He's an Italian mobster from New York and now talks about his experience. Okay, he's not the guy from Goodfellas, is he? Because remember, you're talking to a Philadelphian. I know a lot of mobsters, not just from reputation. I know a lot of mobsters. I went to school with a lot of those guys. But I don't know if I know Michael Franzese. Oh, my God. Okay. Josh Bailey says there's doomsayers saying COVID killed the fandom. That is patently ridiculous. COVID killed the fandom? Guys, we're still here. We didn't go anywhere. Thank God we're not dead. I mean, I hope we're still in good health. Nothing can kill this fandom. Look what we've built. We are too goddamn strong. I'm sorry, it's true. You're not going to kill this fandom. Just because I can't be within 6 feet of my good friend does not mean the fandom is gone. We're still here. We are still as close as ever. Just because we can't necessarily reach out and give ourselves hugs right now doesn't mean anything has changed. The friendships are still there. The love is still there. That shared creativity, the amazing communal dream is still there. Nothing has changed other than a little bit of distance, which is temporary at worst. So if you think it killed the fandom, fuck you, get out. Aztec Studio, have you been doing live shows at conventions with COVID going on? My last appearance was in February of 2019. Like any responsible person, when it became clear that this pandemic was something to be taken seriously, I have not had any personal appearances. Any of the conventions I was scheduled to go to have been canceled. Those appearances that I had that were not canceled, I had to cancel on my own. I'm telling people, look, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I'm not worried about getting it myself. If I get it, hell, I'm old. I'll probably die. Oh well, sucks to be me. I'm not scared of that. I am scared of getting it and giving it to somebody else. That's my worry. So I'm not going to like hide myself away for my own benefit. I'm going to hide myself away for the benefit of the people that I want to entertain. And if by entertaining them, I put their lives in danger, I'm not a very good entertainer, am I? That's like Las Vegas. One Yin Gang, do you think the fandom was better pre-2016? It was different pre-2016. Was it better? Was it worse? That all depends on how you look at it. There are some things that are better. There are some things that aren't better. But everything is different. And that's the one eternal thing about this fandom. It is ever changing. It is always giving us something new. And just because it's new doesn't mean it's bad. It's just new. And I, for one, find that extremely refreshing. Marauder OSU. Thank you very much, Marauder. You're very sweet. We'd be scared if you got it. Don't worry about me. I am taking the appropriate precautions around people. If I got it, my only hope is that I keep it to myself and don't spread it to other folk. And if I get it, and if something awful happens, well, you know, hey, sucks to be me. I probably would be kind of depressed about being dead, but I know that I'd be leaving this fandom in good hands. You guys would continue. There'd be a little bit of boo-hoo and oh, woe is me, but you guys, you're strong. You would continue on, and you would still be happy, and that's all that matters to me. I've done my job, and I'm comfortable with that. Oh, Sasha White, for his 69th birthday is 3 weeks away. I'll send you some hookers. Furry Trainer says, wasn't your blood being used for it? My blood was being used to test diagnostic kits. It probably still is. They haven't asked to siphon me in a couple of weeks. I've given about 6 or 7 donations so far. They have been using my blood specifically to test my company's diagnostic kits. I guess it works because they haven't thrown me out of the program and they haven't sent me an email saying, dude, don't come to work. any 532 says, would you force people to wear bowler hats at your funeral? Well, 532, I would not force anybody to wear anything at my funeral. That would be optional. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Be right back. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Gotta show you something. You might not have seen this. Maybe you have, maybe you didn't. I don't care. I'm going to show you anyway. There it is. Okay. There comes a time when you're facing an adverse situation, when things are grim, and you just have to say, you know what? This is why we made art. What is the purpose of art? The purpose of art is to fire the human emotion, to make us feel, and my own personal opinion is, to make us feel better. If by only taking our minds off of the mundane and bringing those same minds onto a different plane of thought, a plane of contemplation, a distraction, if you will. I have to wear a mask. Okay, if I have to wear a mask, I shall choose the mask that I will wear. Raise your hand when you get it. Do this so it can, there you are. Actually, just come up a little higher. Let's like that. There we are. I can see the chat going. Some of you are getting it by now. Fuzzy Tongue says, hold your tongue and say it. Nope, can't do it. Oh, Kamara Cougar, cut it out. Get all sad and teary-eyed thinking of Kage being gone. There are plenty of clowns in this fandom will keep you laughing when I'm gone, and I'm counting on them to do that, including all of you people here. When I'm gone, for God's sake, I have spent far too much energy making people laugh to have to listen to a bunch of oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I'm going to quote the late, great Stan Laurel, if you cry at my funeral, I will never speak to you again. Laugh at my funeral. Laugh after my funeral. Keep laughing. It's the only weapon we have left, and it's the most powerful one in the human arsenal. Don't lose it. I did quote Stan Laurel wearing a Stan Laurel hat. I did. Aldea Carufus, do you like Jerry Lewis? And if so, which one of his movies do you like best? I certainly respect Jerry Lewis. He was an outstanding artist, and his philosophy of comedy is groundbreaking. Personally, his style, I felt, was a little bit over the top. That is my personal opinion. It is not to say that I dislike his comedic style. I just felt that it was a little too forced. Now, in its day, it might have had its place. But Jerry Lewis's comedy, I don't think stands the test of time. It's unfortunate because the man was a genius. And God rest his soul, he did a fuck ton of good in his day. Bruiser Dragonius, would you be okay if people wear fursuits at your funeral? I would be disappointed if they didn't. Ah, yes, Benny. The favorite Jerry Lewis movie, the Animaniacs episode he appeared in. Yes, that is comedy. And Samson the Cat Fox. Having lost weight, I can't do it as convincingly. But I can still say, well, here's another fine mess you've gotten me into. Six Ocelot, have you seen Blues Brothers? What a question. Look at me. Look at my generation. That was required. Of course I've seen the Blues Brothers. If so, what are my thoughts? A classic movie. People will still be laughing at the Blues Brothers 100 years from now, the way we can still laugh at Chaplin or Harold Lloyd. One Yin Gang, my favorite Orangina commercial. The one from France with the puma. You know which one I mean. In Alethea, 532, should I do the drink alcohol? I think you should do the drink alcohol. I affirmative in that. Camaro Cougar, the Stan and Ollie movie. Alkali, you still there? When Alkali came to visit me 1 year, 2 years ago, whenever the hell he came to visit me, I had been plotting this. I took Alkali to see Stan and Ollie in the theater because I knew that it would move him the way it moved me. Those two men were so much greater than the sum of their parts. Oh, sorry. I still have some. Okay. Can I make it? Can I make it? Yeah, I better not. Aldia Rufus. Still trying to see that movie. Back up. Aldia Rufus, do you mean Stan and Ollie? You should be able to find it. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon Movies as well as on Netflix. You should see it. It is an incredible film. The portrayal of Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy by the two actors in that film was so perfect, so pristine. You can look on YouTube. People have done comparisons where they've taken Stan and Ollie side by side with the original Laurel and Hardy features. These guys must have spent hundreds of hours examining everything, the smallest detail, the angle of a head tilt, the depth of a smile, the posture, the pause, the quirk of the brow. It is such an amazing recreation of historical comedy. These guys are probably two of the most unbelievable character actors Hollywood has ever produced, that they were able to faithfully reconstruct the very lives of these two men, their emotions, their subtle little quirks. Just do it. Just look on YouTube when we're done here. Don't take time away from this. Look up Stan and Ollie. What would you look for? It's versus original, I guess. You would be astonished. Adik Rufus says it's not offered in Canada. Adik Rufus, You've got to find that movie. It's just incredible. And Kyle is asking what I think of the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Also a very, very well done film. I'm not as clear on just how faithful it is to the original. I'm much more convinced that Stan and Ollie brought people back to life as opposed to just telling their stories. Chuzzlepuff, we made our first Grignard reagent. Do you mean you had the magnesium turnings and you added the stuff and it started to fizzle? It's an incredible feeling, isn't it? It's like, life, let my creation live. The Grignard reaction is one of the cornerstones of organic chemistry, as well as one of the most satisfying. Because when it fails, you have a dud. When it works, you've got this living, fizzing, writhing life form. Incidentally, somebody tell me, is the charity performance from Anthrocon 2019 available anywhere on YouTube? If it is, typically I get mad when they do that, but this one I'm not. Please link it in the channel, because Alkali and I tried to recreate the Laurel and Hardy hat routine. And I think we did a passable job. We didn't actually have time to rehearse it. We watched it and we just got on stage and just did it, and it freaking worked. So if it is available on YouTube, I am more than proud to show it off. So somebody please tell me if it's available. Mr. Morningstar, do you have a favorite movie villain and why? Wow. There's so many movie villains who are really incredible. Darth Vader, of course, because he developed magnificently across the 3 Star Wars films that existed. There were no more. Dr. Blofeld. Why? Because I resemble him. Let's see. It will come to me with thought. I'm not big on thought right now, but it will probably come to me. Splodinky D says, I'm trying to post the link to the 2019 show, but I'm not sure if it's showing up or not. All right. I'm going to look myself. I don't have links turned off. Are you sure? Okay, let me see if I can do it here. Hang on. Pardon me while I go clicky, clicky, clicky in your faces here. I go to YouTube or in Philly. We're going to Philly, usetube.com. Yo, I'm into Philly YouTube. I'm going to say Antrocon 2019 charity show. There it is. Silver Ganoman put this on. Okay, let me see. Did we do it here? Okay. Where the hell is it? Okay, that's not it. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, okay. If you guys got the link and you can't post it in the channel, Gummy Bjorn got it. There it is. Thank you, Gummy Bjorn. Thank you very much. Gummy Bjorn is mod. He's so mod, man. He's the mod squad. All right, we got it there. Yes, that's it. I am extremely proud of that because neither Alkali nor I knew if it was going to work, but for somehow it worked. And if you watch that movie, there's a song that's going to get caught in your head. See if I can remember the lyrics. Yes. On a mountain in Virginia stands a lonesome pine. Just below is something with a cabin and a girl of mine. Her name was June, and very, very soon she'll belong to me. If you watch the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, the lonesome pine. Yeah. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, by the trail of the lonesome pine, by the pale moonshine, our hearts entwine. When she carved her name, and I carved mine, oh June. Just like the mountain I'm blue, like the pine, I am lonesome for you. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, by the trail of the lonesome pine. Watch the movie. That song will get stuck in your head and will never come out again. And apparently the sink has gone crazy. Let's find out why. Like I would know why. Okay, I'm looking at my face, and when I make noise with my face matches the noise. Does it match the noise on your face? You guys tell me, because all I see is my face. Okay, all of a sudden the chat got real quiet. I'm blaming YouTube for this shit. No. What if I stop the stream and restart it again? It can't hurt. Let's try it. Bye. Did that do anything? I'm going to speak very slowly and clearly with my face, and the noises coming from my face should be the same as my face. So tell me if that fixed it. All right. Give me a moment. Last chance, YouTube. Did it fix itself? We'll wait. Maybe